Establishing battlefield control. Stand by.
All right. Hello? Hello? Can everybody hear me? Hello? Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Snow 1, Snow 2, Snow 3. Okay. Sorry about that. This is a little awkward. I usually have my tablet up that's got the chat going as well, which helps me monitor the chat and everything and make sure that the stream is going well. But it's currently going through an update right now, so I'm kind of flying blind, and I'm trying to look at the live chat, and that's not working either right now. There we go. Okay, fixed it. Okay. Welcome back, everybody. All right, a bit of a misunderstanding from Aussie. This will be a democracy. Yeah, so basically, how this is going to work, a few things. We are going to be hearing from you guys as well. So while the final decision will still be mine as where we rank them, I will be taking all of your guys' input into account. And primarily, I don't think there's any. If there's any situation where like I think one way, but like the majority of the chat wants to put it in a different tier, I'm just going to go with the chat. This is ultimately a democracy, although some people are more equal than others. A little bit of an Animal Farm joke there, if you get that one. Okay. Other thing is that. Well, what else was I gonna say? Right, you may have noticed that there are ads on this stream. I've never tested ads on the live streams. I've never really felt the need to, but I figured if I'm gonna test it anywhere, I might as well test it on the stream about the game that doesn't exist. So, if when you're done with the stream, if you want to give a little comment at the end about how intrusive the ads were, if YouTube was just spamming them constantly and making it impossible to enjoy the stream, let me know. That is all valuable information. But for now, hold off on talking about the ads because we got to talk about C&C4 Tiberian Twilight. We are in a state of grace where we are allowed to talk about this game because it's Heresy Week. That's right, we're instituting that. Every April Fool's Week on this channel every year, we are allowed for a brief 5 to 7 days to talk about the game that shall not be named. Okay, let's see how everybody's doing. Zaptagius, welcome back to the chat. Wait, the tier list only goes to D. Seems way too generous for the worst designs. Yeah, hang on. I need to rename the categories. So one sec. Also, this is really annoying. My tablet is taking freaking forever. So, try to remember what they were. So, oops, that's wrong. So the final one up here at the top is, I wish this was canon. This is for any designs that, if it wasn't a part of this abomination of a game, you actually, in a vacuum, would probably really enjoy this and would love to see that design show up again in a future Tiberian game. Let me dream. The next one is, I don't hate this. So it may not be your favorite design. Why is it doing that to me? Okay, whatever. May not be your favorite design, but at the end of the day, It doesn't make you revile or just, doesn't revolt you, doesn't push you back with disgust. In fact, you kind of enjoy it, but you're not going to die on that hill. Next up is the I have no feelings on this. So this is something that just doesn't really give you any positive or negative feelings either way. It's just, it is what it is. Okay, finally, getting my live chat up. And then we have the... It doesn't, like, make you hate it. It's just a bad design. And then finally... Yeah. And that is for the absolute worst designs, and probably also designs that are technically units from previous games that you think they just completely lost the plot on and destroyed that. So there's that. All right. All right, can everybody see everything okay? Tier lift cuts off at the edge. That's unfortunate. Let me see if I can fix that. Is that better? There's a bit of a lag here. You need maybe move it over a bit more. Okay. Let me see. I think we're getting... Oh, wait. It's not live on my screen. No wonder. There we go. I can move that over a little more. There we go. Okay. I think that's good. There we go. That's better. All right. I got to say, this is really weird not having any sound from anything because I've never really live streamed just on my desktop before. All right. Man, I should have some music playing or something. Okay, yes, I will be showing you the zoomed in for each design. So before we get started, just going to let you know a little backup for everything. I just don't like the way that's formatted. It's just weird. Oh, wait. Nope. Whatever. Okay. Yeah, the last one does imply that it's been in a previous game, but it could also be like things that are really bad. But I do tend to kind of reserve because for me, the units I hate the most are not the ones that are like objectively bad. For me, the ones I hate the most are like, you had a better design before. You deliberately made it worse. So we're going to get started here. So real quick, for anybody who doesn't have background on this game, because I know there's at least one of you in here who is new to the C&C fandom. This game was released in, I think, 2011. And it was meant to be the final game in the Tiberium storyline. It was supposed to end the story and end the series, at least for this sub-series. And it was awful. It was the first game that didn't really allow you to build bases at all. Instead, you had 3 different branches: offense, defense, and support. You would have something called a crawler, which was like the MCVs of old, except that it could move all the time. It would deploy like a mobile war factory, but most of the branches couldn't even build buildings, and the ones that could really just build base defenses and one super weapon. You couldn't harvest Tiberium anymore in the traditional sense. In fact, they added the Tiberium mechanics in the last minute due to fan backlash. And the story is just incomprehensible and awful and is not satisfying at all. So the community kind of just rejected it. We rejected it. It was 2010? Okay, it was 2010. This is really bugging me not having music. I'm gonna play some music in my own ears right now, just so that I have something, because this silence is honestly just really jarring. Where's my music? There we go. Yes, as Luke Danger said, it was originally a spin-off quick PvP game, then EA forced them to make it to a grand finale on a very short time frame and budget. Exactly. And Privateer Man gives even more detail. It was a spin-off designed for the Asian market that was some executives suddenly decided and demanded to be turned into the final Tiberian game. Exactly. It was meant for the Chinese market. I think it was supposed to be a quick kind of game to make some cash, and instead they're like, nah, you can turn that into a full game. And also EA was very much trying to get into the kind of that StarCraft esports money that they wanted to get into, with C&C really has never been an esports title. Not in that way. Not in the level of StarCraft. Not that there isn't competitive scene in C&C. There definitely is, especially with generals. But, like, it's not on the level of StarCraft. This is not... most C&C games are not incredibly well balanced the way that StarCraft are. They're tuned for fun, for single-player fun. Yeah, if it was a spin-off, it'd probably be just okay, and people would be like, oh, what a fun little thing. But because it had to be that, you know. Yes, Lisa. So, like, most low-budgeted movies, it's a flop. Adds up. Yeah, Yeah, that's right. It did used to be C&C Arena. I remember that. So, that's right. See, the game also gave you a wife for some reason. It was weird. All right. So we're going to start... basically, we're going to start with the offensive GDI, defensive GDI, support, other, then go to nod, offense, D4 support, and then the forgotten. And in between each category, I'm going to ask you guys a question about your experience with this game, because I think we all have memories that, you know, we need to go through this, like group therapy, I think. All right. I'm not going to dignify the Twilight question with an answer. I still want to play Soul Survivor, Ike Fanboy. I really wish I could. All right. You guys ready? Here we go. So first up, we have the Bulldog. So the Bulldog, where do you think this one deserves to be? I think I know where it deserves to be, but I'm curious your guys' thoughts. Basically, this is a redo of the unit from C&C4, although instead of being an anti-air quick scout unit, they put a machine gun on it and made it anti-infantry. It's also a bit wider. A bit more of a wide boy. Let's see. Privateer Man says, wish it was canon. Okay. Bold choice there. Zaptasia says, don't hate it. Okay, we're getting a lot of don't hate it. We're getting a lot of harmless, inoffensive design pitbull. I'll be honest, guys. My first thought was actually to put it in tier 5. Look how they massacred my boy, just because, like, it felt like such an iconic anti-air unit before, something that was like kind of a quick hit and run, destroy some screen aircraft, and they put a machine gun on it instead. And it doesn't look as fast. It looks slower now that it's wider, but I will adhere to the democracy. It doesn't seem like you guys hate this so much. Luke Danger, not even a machine gun. It's an auto shotgun. I put it as don't hate it, though as a Pitbull successor, it's lower. Okay, I'm hearing a lot of I don't hate this. Let's see. Ike Fanboy, the One Vision mod for King's Wrath ported it over, so either don't hate it or wish it was canon. Just brought down by the art style. Alicia says, my opinions aren't going to matter. You know the Snowman. I'd still love to hear your opinions anyway. Yeah, you're right, Video Crow's Nest. It does remind me of the Nod Shredder turrets, which I didn't even really think was that great of an idea. Okay, I'm hearing don't hate it, so we're going to put it in the I don't hate it crowd. You have saved the new Pitbull. I hope you're proud of yourselves. Okay, next one we are going to go with is the Commando. This was available to the offense. It's the 2 infantry units that they get. So let's take a look at this guy. Now, this guy's a little bit different. He's got, I believe, a cannon that he can fire that's good against anti-vehicle. And he's also got a missile launcher, so he can deal with anti-air. Presumably has a lot of armor. What are we getting with this one? He's adorkable, Pete of Darkness says. It's interesting because he doesn't look like a typical commando. He doesn't. But you know, he's in zone power armor, which is always cool. Um, okay, I got Little Lore Jumper says it should go, well, that's just stupid. A couple other people are putting it, say it should go, and I don't hate it. Little Lore Jumper, are you saying fourth as in, well, that's just stupid? Is that what you're talking about? What is your argument, Little Lore Jumper, for that this is kind of stupid? Because I'm kind of leaning towards you. I'm not in love with this design, but I'm willing to hear arguments that this guy should be, and I don't hate it. Zaptasia says looks too bulky. Zone dudes are always cool. It's nice. It's derpy. All right, we're gonna need some consensus. Want to put it between I have no feelings and, well, that's just stupid. Trevin Lane, that isn't a commando, that's a zone trooper. That's just stupid. It isn't proper command. See, that's more my feelings, Trevin Lane. My feelings is that, because even if you compare the commando from C&C4 to the other zone troopers, the commando in C&C4 is a lot sleeker. He's got a lot more like close-fitting armor that feels like he's more agile. And I just feel like the commando shouldn't be a tank. He should be something that's more precise, I guess. Squishy Music says, I'd prefer the Tib Wars design overall for the suit. It should be more of a heavy assault trooper. Basically all GDI infantry. I have no feelings on this, given the split. Don't forget to show the blue Tiberium core upgrade. Oh, that's right. We do have the blue Tib, which is slightly bigger. Yeah, I will allow you guys to make your preferences based off the blue Tiberian core as well. That doesn't really change much. It just gives them like a bigger commando version of it. Okay. All right. This one's really split. I'm not sure where to put this one. We might have to put it in I have no feelings on this because everybody's kind of split. All right, I'm going to need somebody to give me their best argument for I don't hate this, and somebody to give me their best argument for, well, that's just stupid, because those are the two ones I'm going for right now. I need to hear your arguments on this. Oof. Privateer says, not a commando, but the design isn't that bad for a heavy trooper of sorts. Alicia says, I have no feelings on this because it's just mid. It's not likable. It's not hateable. All right, I think I'm convinced. I think I'm going to put it in I have no feelings on this. Just because I agree with you guys, it's not a bad design. It's just a bad design for a commando. So I'm going to put it in I have no feelings on this. All right, next one's up. This one should be fun. The Striker. So this was kind of a scout unit early on for the offense class, but it has an ion laser. So an uncharacteristically heavy weapon for a tier 1 scout unit. And with blue Tiberium core, we add the extra pods, and it's got like a stronger laser, I think. But I'm going to stick with the basic one. Let me know if you guys want me to switch back to the blue Tiberium core version. This one's... I have no words when I see this thing. I don't know what the heck this thing is. Like, on paper, it's fun. Like, I like a fast, 2-legged scout unit. Like, that's cool. I think it's just the giant laser that's, like, awkwardly shoved next to the cockpit that kind of ruins it for me. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Luke Danger says, I wish it was canon. I like the idea of being a Zocom scout strider that got up-weaponed by the steel talons to handle the red zones. It's fast, light scout, and kind of fits the walkers. We're getting a lot of bad, though, from here. Good grief, can I just... There we go. What the heck is even that? I actually like the asymmetry on the cockpit. Okay. Trevor Lane says, ugly as sin. That's just stupid. It's basically a Titan with an ion cannon. Juggernaut cockpit. I still remember watching the unit trailer with you, Snowman, and I actively hated it when I saw it. Feels like the Striker VX from Red Alert 3, but repurposed. It does. It does. Well, I know some people like this design, but I'm going to have to overwrite it. I think this thing can't go any higher than I have no feelings on this. Because, I don't know, that giant laser on a scout unit, on a tier 1 scout unit, shoved next to the cockpit, that just ruins it for me. I like the idea of a fast scout unit, but I feel like that's not good. So, I'm thinking, well, that's just stupid is where it should go. I heard some arguments for look how they massacred my boy. I don't think it's that bad. I think we're gonna go with yeah, that's just stupid. Yeah. If this thing had like a machine gun or even like rocket pods or something, or a small cannon, I think it would be fine. I think just the giant laser just really makes it look weird. All right, next one, guys. We are now going for the Talon, which is here. Okay, so the Talon is a fast hover unit that has rocket pods with blue Tiberium core. What is that? What? I'm sorry, I didn't expect it to just double up like that. That is that's a lot. Okay, let's put you back, buddy. Let's put you back. Yeah, this is basically a really, really tiny MLRS, essentially. A one-manned MLRS. Yeah, Aussie says most useless unit in the game. Luke's Anger, basically a hover skip. I have no strong feeling this is a decent design. It just doesn't stand out. But yeah, the blue Tiberian core upgrades tend to just double missile silos. Privateer Man says, looks like a malnourished orca. It does, doesn't it? Trevor Lane says, I don't hate it. It isn't bad looking as some. Doesn't really feel too Covenant-y. Like if the hover engines were bigger and had more structure, it would look better. Nestalogic. Lost Snowman, that looks like a moving Sam set if I've ever seen one. I kind of want to put this with the Striker as, well, that's just stupid. Like, if this was a flying unit, it wouldn't look half bad, maybe if you beef it up a bit, but because it's, like, hovering 2 feet off the ground, I'm just wondering why. And the cockpit is not protected at all. Just look at that. Yeah, we're gonna put this in, well, that's just stupid. All right. Well, so far we haven't gotten a one on either one, so we'll see. Next one up is, oh gosh, here we go. The Shockwave. Okay, we got the Shockwave, and with blue Tiberium core, it just adds an extra power pack on the back. That's pretty much it. Yeah. I have my thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think of this? This is what's going on here? Zaptasia says, look how they massacred my boy. Chase Baker also says that. Rear Crew says tier 2. Okay. Privateer Man says, hull isn't that bad, but the oversized gun brings it down a lot. Yeah. Now remember, guys, the Shockwave had a unit before. It was in C&C4. It was kind of that wider, almost like disc shape to it. And then we also had the Zone Defender Shockwave that the Zocom used. It was a bit beefier. So compared to that, I gotta... Oof. Charlene says, it looks mostly the same as the C&C4. I don't hate it, but it looks worse than the original. I don't think it looks mostly the same. I think it's changed quite a few design choices. It's a lot more rectangular. The other one was more disc shape. Yeah, the Shatterer was great. I love the Shatterer. I kind of want to put this in, look how they massacred my boy. The only reason why I might not put it there is because I wasn't super in love with the original Shockwave tank. So I don't have quite as strong feelings that they ruined it. But, like, yeah, that cannon, I mean, that doesn't look... with the sonic emitter in C&C3 and the shockwaves, you would look at those and think, oh yeah, that looks like a sonic emitter. This looks like it should be firing, you know, sabot rounds or something, or a cannon. That doesn't, or a mortar of some sort. That doesn't look like a sonic tank. Luke Danger says it's got a better name, the Shatterer, so that's a point in its favor. Trevor Lane says, to be fair, I don't like the original. See, that's kind of my feelings. Is I like the original. I just don't. I'm not in love with it. Should we do it, guys? Should we do our first bottom tier? Do you think the Shockwave deserves to be our first bottom tier unit? Trevor Lane, I loathe off-center turrets and armored vehicle as a whole. That's a good point. Okay, we got 2 yeses and 1 no. Like, boy, I'd be fine with it. I think it deserves. I think it looks stupid. Okay, I think what I'm getting from the community is we need to put this in, well, that's just stupid. I don't think this quite deserves to go be our first look how they massacred my boy. Okay. I gotta say, you guys are a lot more even-handed. I've done this tier list on my own by myself just to get a feel for what my opinions are on it, and there was a lot more in this category, so you guys are actually a bit more even-handed and nicer to these games units than I was. I hope you can sleep at night. All right, next one is my beloved, the Titan. And by my beloved, I mean the Titan as a concept. As for this version of it, let's see. What are your guys' thoughts? Here's the blue Tiberium Core one, which I don't hate. I don't hate it. This is probably the first blue Tiberium Core we've looked on that I'm like, that's kind of cool. As an upgrade, not bad. Yeah, okay, so like you said, Ike Fanboy, this one is pretty much a shot for shot. Like, it's exactly the same model as King's Wrath. The only difference is that instead of a cannon, they put an ion laser on it. So it's better at attacking heavier stuff to kind of give it its own niche apart from the Hunter tank. Okay. Luke Danger says, okay, I sleep just fine. As for the Titan, I don't hate it. I don't like the EA era Titan anyways. It's exactly the same. Also, the BTC upgrade actually looks like it makes it more balanced. Yes. Septasia says, looks better with the second gun. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I kind of want to put this in I don't hate it. It's not a bad idea. Like, the idea of upgrading the Titan to, like, either give it a second gun or to give it lasers instead, I don't hate those ideas. I don't hate it. So I don't think I love it enough where I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish this was canon, but I don't hate this design. Okay. So, yeah, we're going to put this in I don't hate this. Well done, Mr. Titan. You're a serviceable unit in this trash heap of a game. All right, moving on. We're going to go to the Wolf. I am curious on your guys' thoughts on this. Let's see. We got the Wolf, then with the blue Tiberium Core. And it just gets an extra ammo pack. What do you guys think of the Wolf? This is giving me Yuri's Revenge vibes, honestly. Okay, Ike Boy says cannon tier for me. Looks sick. I don't know if I would go that far. Privateer Man says tier 5 looks more like a toy than an RA3 APOC. Squishy Music says it's awful. Zaptator says looks straight out of Skynet. Peter Darkness says canon. We're getting some like really far afield opinions here. I'm getting everything from this thing looks stupid to, oh my gosh, I wish this was canon. I need to hear arguments from the people who wish it were canon. I don't see the appeal. To me, a Gatling gun tank doesn't feel very GDI to me. It gives me shades of GLA or the Soviets or Yuri. I feel like missiles are more GDI. This feels like a very generic tank. So can somebody who thinks it should be canon explain to me why you think this is such a amazing design? Because I'm not seeing it. So if you want to push for this thing to be higher up in the tier, now's your chance. You gotta sell me on this because I'm not seeing this. Why does it look generic? I mean, it's just a treaded vehicle, and it's got Gatling guns. Like, I don't know, maybe just because I don't find like anti-infantry or anti-air stuff that cool when it's just like machine guns, but like it doesn't. I don't know. Let's see. Ike Boy, I just think the dual chain guns are really cool. Okay, fair. Pete of Darkness says it looks like the turret on U.S. battleships. All right, fair. Squishy Music says the existing Terminator tank would be a better fit. Luke Danger, the tread layouts is literally the same basic idea as the Predator tank, though if you just like the Predator nostalgia, those tracks. Privateer Man, I think the turret looks stupid and weirdly balanced with the oversized Gatling guns. Alicia Earl says if this was a house, you'd mortgage it. So what? I can't sell this. Aussie says it does its job. It has a unique design. None of those arguments for me puts it in I wish this was canon. I would put this in I have no feelings on this. It evokes nothing in me when I look at this. But I'm going to look for a few more comments. What do you mean a better slingshot? Well, I mean, it's better than that I can shoot at the ground. I'll give you that. It's probably cheaper, too. All right. Well, if nobody else disagrees, I'm going to have to probably put this in I have no feelings on this. Because I look at this and I feel nothing. Like, I don't hate this design, but I don't think, oh my gosh, that's such a cool GDI design. All right, we're moving on. And we're moving on to, honestly, one of my favorite units from back when I played this game. Not necessarily from a design perspective, but it was fun to use. The AT-22 Hunter with the blue Tiberium core. I think it looks a little cooler. It's got a slightly cooler barrel. But, yeah. In-universe, this unit, I think, was supposed to be like built off of like the original APC chassis from C&C4, and they slapped a tank on it. So it's kind of like the Striker, if you know that unit from the American military. Let's see. Little Lord Jumper says, I don't hate it. Aussie says, nah, this is a bad tank. Ah, you think it's a bad tank? Blue Wa says, I say cannon. Whoa, that's high praise. Peter Darkness, nice wheel design. I like this one. Squishy Music says cannon. Ike Fanboy, I don't hate it. Very simple and effective design. Luke Danger, I wish it was canon. Doctrinally, it's a logical adaptation for GDI in the face of Nod's hit and run tactics, and has a very distinct profile. I feel like it feels right as a Predator successor. I personally would put this in I don't hate this. I have fond memories with this tank. I don't know if I would say I wish this was canon. Because you got to think, guys. Think ahead. We're eventually going to get to, you know, the Mastodon, which is the successor to the Mammoth Mark II. And that is like, oh my gosh, I wish this was canon, at least to me personally. Do you look at this tank and think this is on the level of a Mammoth Mark II? I find it hard to believe that this is on that level. To me, it's an I don't hate it. Is that what you guys are thinking? Because I want to put it in. I want to put it in. I don't hate it. So I need to hear from you guys. Do we agree with that? Luke Danger says pair the Hunter tank as the fast mover scout tank with Titans as an MBT or tank destroyer role. It fills a great niche and is distinct. Okay. All right. Looks like we're all agreed. We're putting this in I don't hate this. All right, guys. I hate to do this to you. Hey, look, it's the Mammoth Mark IV. Here it is with mirror plating. Here it is with the... Oh, actually, that makes it look way better with the blue Tiberium core. That is way better. Yeah, so on its own basic, I don't know why But for whatever reason, ELA decided that a lot of their like anti-armor barrels were going to look like cigarettes or PVC piping. I really don't. Yeah, Septages, exactly. I don't know why all of their like tank barrels look like this. But with the blue Tiberium core, it looks a lot better. It looks like it's a railgun now. Like, that's a decent design. I don't think we can make our full ranking, though, based off of the blue Tiberium core. I feel like we have to judge this mostly on its basic design. And that basic design... Yeah, Arbiter says it's too bulbous. It looks like it had too much McDonald's. Yeah, I don't know what is off with this tank, because it looks worse to me than any of the previous Mammoth designs, including the first one. And that one was pixels. Septagia says it's a bit too angular compared to the sleek C&C4 version. Yeah, it looks like it's trying to throw back to the first one, but it doesn't look... It looks like the worst of both worlds. Luke Danger says, I don't hate this for the blue Tiberium core version. Well, that's just stupid for the basic design, so I have no feelings to split the difference. Looks like we're getting... Well, that's just stupid. It looks like a downgrade of the Mark III. Privateer Man says it looks weird because of the 4 or 5 treads with no hull. Oh, you're right. Look at that. Like, there's barely any hull there. It's mostly treads. Look, I'll be honest. Me personally, I would put this in Look How They Massacred My Boy. Like, this doesn't come close to any of the previous Mammoth designs. This thing looks... And also, it doesn't help that in all of, like, the unit profile videos that they were releasing beforehand, this thing was a punching bag for any laser unit, and it just got blown up. What do you mean that's too low, Aussie? Look at this thing! It's got cigarettes on the front of it! Alright, you think we should put it in, well, that's just stupid? Okay, Septages has got a good argument. It's worse than every other version, but it doesn't offend me. Okay, I think the consensus is then it's, well, that's just stupid. Again, you guys are being far kinder to these units than I would be. Alright, next one up, it is the myth, the legend, the Mastodon, aka the spiritual successor to the Mammoth Mark II Walker from the Tib Sun era. Except you can build multiple of them. And what does the blue Tiberian core version look like? Ah, it's just got beefed up tusk. I don't know, I kind of like this version better. But look at this thing. Look at this thing. For the first time in the franchise, you can build multiple of the 4-legged walker. Now, granted, the stupid population cap meant you could still only build like 3 of these things. Because the population cap is the dumbest idea. And this is coming from an Age of Empires fanboy. But in C&C, that is so dumb. But like here, you could build more than one. And if you could get a few destroyed and then capture them with engineers, you could cheat the population cap. All right, Luke Danger says, I wish it was canon. It basically smooths out the Mammoth Mark II. It is actually a really good successor, and the art style doesn't butcher it either. Number One Rival says, I wouldn't mind this being canon. It's a good design overall with only a few nitpicky issues. Privateer Man, I think the frontal turrets are really stupid and oversized, but otherwise it's great. Yeah, they did move the railguns. Like, this seems to be part of the engine now, as opposed to being where the railgun is, and instead they moved the gun to the tusk, which I don't hate. I think it kind of is a throwback to the in-cinematic machine gun that's supposed to be there on the tusk that never quite made it into in-game. Little Lore Jumper, brought down by the art style and tint and textures, but other than that, beautiful. Video Crow's Nest. Unit design like this makes me wonder how they couldn't replicate the same energy for most of the units. Yeah, that's my thing. I feel like we're going to feel that way for a lot of the units that we put into I Wish This Was Canon, of like, wow, you were able to cook this hard, but you couldn't do that for every other unit? Yes, the Mastodon is a fantastic name, Morglusman, because it's basically another word for mammoth. Well, I think they're technically different species. I don't know a lot about paleontology. It is a sonic weapon rather than a railgun, but it still functionally serves the same combat role. Zaptages easily fell by a bunch of banshees when equipped with a long string, though. All right. Let's put this in. This is our first one. Give yourselves a hand, everyone. I wish this was canon. It's in. It's in. Woo! All right, this next one is going to be interesting. I'm genuinely curious on what your guys' thoughts on this are. This is the refractor tank. What does it look like upgraded? Oh, that's what has that. Okay, it just looks more reinforced. So, this one's interesting. So the refractor tank essentially will reflect lasers back at the enemy, but not just lasers. It's apparently built with some sort of weird sci-fi magic material that if you fire even like a cannon shell at it, it will bounce back and hit the enemy. And then it can drop the shields to fire an ion laser at them. Let's see. Alicia Earl says, my true thoughts, what the heck is that? Ike Fanboy says it looks backwards. Squishy Music says, as a kid, I actually loved it. Aussie says, I don't hate it. Squishy Music says, it has a good mammoth base, though. Zaptagius, the No You machine. Or Gluesman, what the heck is even that? Nastologic, is this a moving dashboard on a tank at this point? A little bit. Looks like a backwards-looking Sonic tank. Luke Danger, I wish it was canon. Whoa, that's high praise. An anti-laser shield to attack Obelisk perfectly fits GDI. It's essentially a mammoth variant and can tear apart structures or other mammoth equivalents too. Also, good voice actor. It did have good voice lines. Vader Crow's Nest looks like a Sonic Disruptor tank, but its emitter got moved to the front and turned to a sci-fi shield. I'll be honest. I really liked using this when I was younger. And I don't hate this design. I don't think I put it in I wish this was canon, because as cool as this idea is, this shield does look a little goofy. And especially, like, I get it when it blocks lasers, but the fact that it can block cannon shells and then they bounce straight back and attack the enemy. I think there even was a little bit of a boing sound when it did that. That's a little goofy. I gotta say. A little goofy. Can we show it with the refractor? It won't let me show it with it down, unfortunately. I don't think there's anything else here as far as like pictures. Oh, this might be it. Nope. It does not. That sucks. Well, in any case, what are your thoughts on this? Alicia Earl, already, I'm definitely going to have to watch the VOD later. Sis has got a birthday party today, and I got to go spend some time with her. Yeah, of course. Have a good one, Alicia Earl. Happy Easter. Well, it's Saturday, but you know what I mean. Squishy Music. With the properties of Tiberium and the shield may be plausible for lasers, I guess. Privateer Man. Take this tank's chassis and give it to the Mammoth turret, and you'd have a decent Mammoth tank design. You know what? You're right. This looks so much better compared to, like, here, let's go back real quick. We're going to go back to the Mammoth tank. Look how ridiculously huge the treads are and how small the main hull is. And compare that to the refractor where it looks so much better. Look how big the hull is. Look how much more proportion the treads are. Why didn't they... And I'm pretty sure in universe, according to the unit profiles, this is supposed to be the same chassis as the Mammoth tank, or at least derived from it. Why does it look so much better on the refractor? Anyway... Ike Boy says, don't hate. Seems like a fun unit. Pete of Darkness. Funny thing, most units look way better on the concept art drawings than the actual 3D models. I would agree with you. Chase Baker says, honestly, I like the unit idea, though perhaps it should rely on repulsor tech for the damage reflectabilities. For sure. I think what we're getting is that the shield is a little stupid, but it's not a bad design. I think we're going to put this in I don't hate this. I think that's what we want. Also, people were mentioning the concept art, so let me take a look at that real quick. That's pretty cool. It looks like originally the front treads were supposed to angle down a bit more. Okay. You know what, Aussie? I'm gonna have to ban you if you're gonna talk about this. Goodness, calm down. All right. Let's go to the next one. So the next one, oh, here we go. The Sandstorm. And Blue Tiberium core. I don't know what else I expected. All right, this is the Sandstorm. Basically, it is accordingly created by the Steel Talons, and it was a successor to the Hover MLRS. Yeah, it is the one that jumped Peat of Darkness. This one can jump up cliffs and off cliffs. Whoa, Squishy Music says massacred my boy. I don't hate this one. In fact, I really like this one. The reason why I really like this one is because as much as I love the MLRS from Tiberian Sun, it's kind of made of tissue paper and doesn't have a whole lot of armor. What I liked about this one is not only does it have more armor, it looks like it has more armor. Like, it really looks like a beefy hover tank that can take a hit, you know? It can take a beating and still go out there and do some damage. And I like how angular this front part is, so it looks almost like a, I don't know, like a battleship or like an airplane. Like, it looks sleek, you know, but also well armored. I kind of want to put this in I wish this was canon. Like, I actually really love this design. Somebody mentioned up top that, like, yeah, it really looks like GDI. It feels very GDI. Fanboy says. Frostburn says, I wish this was canon. Loot Danger says, I wish this was canon. It's basically a sleeker, more armored HMLRS, though the Blue Tiberium core version is a little dorky. Privateer Man says, I'd say canon. Looks like a Tib Wars version of the Hover MLRS. Yes, exactly. I wish this was in there instead of the slingshot, if I'm being honest. And it should have been for the Steel Talons. Peter Darker says, it almost looks like a speedboat with a missile rack. Yeah, it does. And that evokes, like, speed, which I like, but it's also super armored. Trevor Lane says, I don't hate this. I don't think the hover unit should be well armored. Fair enough. I think the consensus is we got to put this in. I wish this was canon. I think it's that good. Maybe not exactly, but I think some version of this should show up again in a future Tiberian game. All right, guys, we got another canon one. Woo! We still don't have a look how they massacred my boy. Which one is that going to be, guys? All right, but now we come to the end of our first section. Let's take a look at where's the crawler? Shoot, where's the crawler? Am I blind? Where's the freaking crawler? Oh, first one. All right, here we go. So let's do this one. This one's I like this. There we go. Look at that. Very nice. Okay, so cool. This, I think, I don't know. This looks cool to me. I like this. Now, I know this is the symbol of basically like everything that's wrong with this game, with the no base building. But just look at that. It looks like a Mammoth Mark II, but like beefed up and mixed with the Mobile War Factory. Like, this thing was, I don't know. It's just really cool to me. Yeah, Orgulus is right. Moving War Factory is cool. And I think we've had a lot of people say similar things, that like, if this wasn't the core of the entire game, if it was just like a sub-faction or like for fixed forced missions where you could do stuff like this, it's not a bad idea. Luke Danger says, I have no strong feelings. It's not really a great MCV successor, and while it's serviceable, it doesn't hugely speak to me either way. Blue Wah says, it's a Mobile War Factory. It would be canon. Ike Fanboy says, from a gameplay perspective, crawlers are stupid. However, the design for the offense one is very solid, would work well as an outpost vehicle. Yeah. Privateer Man says, I have no feelings on it. Septagia says, the four-legged design looks a little dumb to me. P of Darkness says, canon, very cool. Trevor Lane says, look how they massacred my boy. I hate walking MCVs. Privateer Man says, turn into a Mobile War Factory and you got a decent design. I personally would probably put this in I wish this was canon, but I think everyone else is a little less hyped on this than I am, so I might have to bump this down to I don't hate this. How many of you actually would agree with me and put this in canon? Because if there's not enough of you, I will put this in I don't hate this. All right, we're getting a couple of cannons. I think that's canon. So we got 3 cannons. But everybody else seems like they want to put it in I don't hate this. Ike Fanboy. People are saying mobile war factories, but I think it'd work better similar to the GDI layer in Rise of the Reds, where it allows for the building of Tier 1 units. That's not a bad idea. No strong feelings one with the other. All right, you know what? It's my channel. We're putting this in I wish this was canon. Okay, we're moving on. Okay, no more debate. All right, so we finished, I believe that's all of offense. So, we're going to have to do a question now for you guys. When did your hatred for this game start? Like, when the first trailer came out, were you immediately like, oh, this is going to be bad, there's no base building? Or were you like, I'll give it a chance, and it wasn't until you played the game and saw the ending and how bad the story was that you hated it? That's what I want to know. And while I'm waiting for your answers, I will tell you my story. I was genuinely wanting to give this game a chance. I genuinely thought, here's a game that might be really fun. There's some bringing back a lot of units from like the Tib Sun era, and I thought that this could possibly be good. And then I played it. I got to the end. The story was over before I thought I was even in there. The weird unlocks where I got to the end of the campaign, I still hadn't unlocked all the units, and I was so disappointed. So my hatred for this game started when I actually like played it and finished the game. But I don't know. What about you guys? Orglusman says the gameplay on YouTube. Hey, Alex Basadze. Welcome to the chat. Luke Danger says, I don't think I really hated it until I grew up a bit and realized just how bad the plot line was. First time I played, I didn't realize just how bad Colonel James' nonsense was. Bubba's Big Blast says, when I learned the Skrin weren't there. Yes, I remember that. That was a big disappointment. That's logic. I found out about this only in this decade. That's good. That means the community's been doing its job and hiding this game from existence. Beat of Darkness. I think I got stuck on one of the missions and I had to grind to get better units. Not fun, for sure. Like Pasadze says, after release. Orglusman says, the Let's Play is where I hated it. Squishy Music says, my hatred came months later. I was a bit stunned or blinded by C&C left to realize it. Yeah, no, fair. Luke Danger. Though I wasn't fond of the Kane reveals even then, I didn't necessarily hate it until I really started to think on it. Yeah, I hear the Star Wars sequels are like that. Privateer Man. I was too busy being a kid in Eastern Europe when I first heard of the game. Though the cover art was cool, I didn't know anything for the longest time. When I found out about it, I was just annoyed. Yeah. Trevin Lane. I gave it a chance. I rage quit after losing Mission 2 GDI. It was so unfun and so different from the previous games. Fair enough. Ike Fanboy. Despite me never playing the game, I used to be an apologist for it when I was young, mainly because of how annoying I found the EA hate was. I since realized the issues with the game. Yeah, sometimes the EA hate is overblown. I will definitely defend EALA. That's the devs, not the executives. For C&C4 and Kane's Wrath, I think those games are really great. I still have my problems with them, but overall, I think they were made with a lot of passion and added a lot of cool things to the universe. But yeah, C&C4 I cannot defend, other than a few unit designs. Arbiter says, I beat both campaigns, though it wasn't good, but I realized I didn't unlock anything, went and unlocked everything, played it again, and hated it even more. All right. Snowman, can you do polls so we can vote on this? That's a good question. Can I do polls? How would I do poll? Unfortunately, the polls don't really work because there's only like a limited amount of space in them. There's not enough for all 5. Ike Fanboy. To this day, I do find EA bad memes just overdone, especially when in comparison to other publishers like Activision. Next Logic. In all seriousness, I found out about it thanks to a video about the Rise and Fall of Command & Conquer by Gamers. Gamers was a fantastic YouTube channel. You guys ever look up Gamers? Look them up. They deserve all the support in the world. They make documentaries on all sorts of games. They're not too long. I usually watch them when I'm eating food and stuff. They're really good. The RTS fan, I just wanted to give an honest chance after a few years even through the nativity. It was some interesting ideas, but yeah, still not a good C&C game, but on its own, an interesting game with the grind. Yeah, as a game by itself, it's fine. As a C&C game, it's awful. Septages. I actually hated Generals more when it arrived, more than I hated C&C4 when it came out, but I grew to appreciate Generals and resent C&C4 over time. You know, it's nice to know that people can change for the good. You know, Septages, it's nice to know that people can reform. Chase Baker, no hate. I did buy this game sight unseen and rejected it when I discovered the core C&C gameplay was gone. Kane losing control over the Brotherhood and not being able to put that faction down and such. Yeah. Okay, let's get back into it with defense. And the first one on the list is, we're going to try and go a little faster on this one, just because some of these units are just kind of the Dozer. It has an upgraded version? Okay. Well, for me, this is either, well, that's just stupid, or I have no feelings on this. So give me your opinions now real quick in the chat, but if I don't hear anything in a little bit, I'm just going to dump it into I have no feelings on this, because, you know, it's a Dozer with a crane. Pete of Darkness. Meep, meep, I'm forklift certified. Privateer Man. Forklift looks dumber than the ones from Shockwave Chaos, and that mod was deliberately designed to be absurd. Very stupid. Getting some meh. Killdozer. I don't hate this. General's vibes. I have no feelings on it. Generic dozer design. Alright, let's it's just stupid solely because that's not an actual damn bulldozer. Yeah, that's a good point. It's also weird to have that just like out in the middle of the battlefield, because this isn't something that's supposed to be at a base. It's supposed to be in the middle of the battlefield repairing other units, which is pretty stupid. Alright, so stupid or meh? What are we doing? Yeah, we're not going to waste time on this. We're no feelings. Alright, next one up is, I believe that is the Zone Captain. Now, this is an interesting one. I know you guys all actually really liked a lot of the Zone Infantry from the defense class. So, let's take a look at this guy. So, the Zone Captain is interesting because he basically just has a laser targeting device, and then a mini ion cannon will actually fire at whatever he points at. It is a little weird to me that he has no weapons other than that, but I liked using this guy. Again, we're not ranking this off of how fun it was to use in the game. We are ranking it on design, but I did really like using this guy. Let's see if we can have other pictures of this guy. Ooh, we got concept art. Very cool. Here's a bunch of these guys just chilling. How could he even move? He's a brick with stubby legs and rubber arms. Luke Danger. I wish this was canon, though I'll admit I like the target device to be a personal ion cannon like in Renegade, but the orbital strike is also fun. It fits. Peter Darkness. I didn't use defense class. It sucked in single player. First time I've seen this man. Septasia says Bioshock dude without a drill. Concept art is really cool. Yeah, I don't know. I don't hate this guy, but what do you think? Honestly, any issues I have with the Zone Troopers in general, proportion issues with the Zone Infantry in general. Samus Aran? Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna put him in, and I don't hate this. It is dumb that this is his only weapon. I don't know. Should we bump him down? What do we think? Trevor Lane, I wish all GDA infantry was canon. Power armor feels very natural for GDA infantry. I don't understand why C&C3 didn't have like more units, especially Zocom. Why isn't Zocom have all their units? They're supposed to be operating in like red zones and really bad yellow zones. Why doesn't Zocom have all of their units be zone troopers? All right, we're going to keep this, and I don't hate this. Moving on. This next one is the Zone Enforcer. So it's a little goofy with a giant minigun, essentially. But, you know, I think he's got his charm. What do you guys think about this guy? again, we're ranking him on design. Here's some more concept art. You guys are right. The concept art looks really good. Luke Danger. I wish it was canon. Definitely pull up the concept art for this one. Or Glusman. Why is everything with the ion cannon, whereas the military realism that C&C series is known for? Yeah, they definitely went overboard in C&C4, I think, with the ion lasers they gave GDI, I think. Privateer Man. I think the gun is cool, but the tank is oversized. Just dumb. Same as last. Charm, but dreadful gun. I'm not sure, honestly. Minigun, Nerf blaster. I like this guy. I don't know if I like him as much as the zone captain, but like he's kind of cool. Zaptasia said this isn't Warhammer 40k. Dumb and even dumber. Some people saying it's stupid. The armor itself is pretty good, I'd say. All right, I think I'm going to put this in I don't hate this. So let's move on to the Zone Lancer. Now this one's interesting because, again, it's kind of going back to what we were talking about with kind of this obsession that C&C4 had with putting ion lasers for everyone. And again, this was because C&C4 had this really weird thing where, like, more than any other C&C game, everything was extremely rigid in what it was good against. Like, Titans in the Tiberian Sun, not good against infantry. But if you get a bunch of mass Titans and you fire them all at an infantry unit, it'll still kill it. Maybe it's not the best at it, but it will do it with numbers. For whatever reason, in C&C4, it was like, no. The cannons are only good against medium anti-armor stuff. The lasers are only good against heavily armored vehicles. And the machine guns are only good against infantry. And if you try to use any of these counters against what they were not built to attack, they would just be like peeing in the wind. It was just awful. So that's why every single one has to have like a laser attachment, because everything has to be able to have something that's good against anti-armor, because you can't just spam a bunch of anti-armor stuff like the Hunter tank and be able to do any damage to a Basilisk. It's really dumb. Luke Danger. Oh, hey, it's the screenshot I took for the Zone Lancer. I put this as I don't hate it. The little pack's a little big, but it works. Privateer Man. Exact same armor as previous, just different backpack. Think it looks better. Chase Baker. The belt doesn't look like it's a bullet-feeding belt, but one of those hoses. Pete of Darkness. Second tier, better than the minigun, worse than the captain. Again, too bulky for me. All right, what did you say, Pete of Darkness? Better than the minigun, worse than the captain. I would agree. Let's put him over here. Again, I really like all of the zone. You know what was really dumb? Let me tell you what was really dumb. The fact that the zone troopers, we finally get a GDI infantry where every single infantry is in zone armor. And it's in the one game where we don't have to worry about Tiberian poisoning anymore. You notice that? You notice that? Ugh. I just think that was so ironic. Okay, next one. We have... Okay, I have thoughts about this guy. Look at this. This guy is carrying essentially a cannon that's supposed to be anti-tank. Perfectly serviceable, except when you realize, look what this guy's name is. Look what this guy's name is, guys. This was our beloved zone trooper. And this is what he's become. To me, this is, look how they massacred my boy. Look at this guy. He used to have railguns. He used to be cool. Look what he's carrying. All right, let's see what you guys have to say. Luke Danger. Look how they massacred my boy. That arm cannon is just dumb in comparison to the Zone Trooper railgun from Tiberian Wars. Exactly. Pete Darkness. The heck is that thing? Privateer Man. Honestly, the game's lore is broken by the map design and gameplay. I read the blurb that like 98% of the planet turned into a red zone, and the zone armor on everyone made sense. It would if there were Tiberium everywhere. Saptages, they massacred my boy. Nastologic, specifically gamers did an explanation about why was Generals 2 canceled. They canceled Command & Conquer FPS Tiberium and so much more. They do. I love that gamers actually brings a lot of love to talking about Command & Conquer like the franchise that it was. I know Zaid is going to have an in-depth documentary on Generals 2 any week now, so I'm looking forward to that. Privateer Man. And then you look at the game itself and the high-tech stuff, and nary a smidge of Tiberium anywhere. Exactly. P of Darkness. I legit think that might be for our first 5 tier. I'm inclined to agree. Org Luzman. Massacre. Death Kill. Trevor Lane. Bump him down a grade for the weapons downgrade. Ike Fanboy. For Zone Trooper, it's stupid or massacred. Yeah, I think this is our very first look how they massacred my boy. It looks like they were just trying to throw names on everything. We're like, we'll throw Zone Trooper for this guy. Not understanding the legacy that the Zone Trooper had. Just, it doesn't even compare to the original Zone Trooper from C&C4. It's awful. Exactly, Frostburn. Where's the railgun? I was promised a railgun. Okay, moving on. We're going to try and burn through these quick because... we're done with all the... Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, so this next one is the bunker. I don't think anybody has strong opinions on this. I feel like this is going straight into have no feelings. Unless anyone disagrees, I'm moving on. Luke Danger. Also, the voice actor took a major downgrade, even if it does fit the fact that the Zone Trooper is a generic infantryman instead of an elite trooper now. Yeah, they should have changed the name, though. Yeah, it's a bunker. We're going... Okay, moving on. We're not wasting time on this. Next one is... I think it's the Crystal Shield. Okay, so this is interesting because it is essentially a successor, I think, to the Firestorm Defense, specifically the one that was seen in Kane's Wrath, that defended the Tacitus complex. So, in that regard, it's interesting. I don't know if there's much more I can say about it, though. It kind of just is what it says on the tin. It generates a shield. I don't know what else to say about this. Are you guys thinking the same thing? Kind of meh. Luke Danger, I have no feelings, particularly as I don't see it as a successor of the Firestorm Defense as much as being a reverse engineered Skren's shielding tech. That's fair. Reveteer Man, GDI Disruption Tower. If it's Firestorm, then they massacred my boy. I don't hate. Looks shell-shaded. Yeah, it does give me Borderlands vibes. Does it spin or something? I feel like it'd be cool in motion. I'll try spinning. That's a good trick. All right, it sounds like we're basically averaging out to I have no feelings on this. The defense stuff kind of gets boring, so I kind of want to muck through this pretty quick. Oh, look at this! The Guardian Cannon, everybody. Is there a reason why C&C3's graphics looked so much better than C&C4's? Was it a genuine downgrade in graphical fidelity, or is the art style just that bad? Remember, guys, this is the Guardian Cannon. Do you remember what the Guardian Cannon used to look like? Look it up on your phones. Privateer Man, that's a pea shooter. Massacre. Luke Danger. Guardian Cannon. Look how they massacred my boy. It's not a terrible design, but it's just not a Guardian Cannon. Exactly. I don't even know where they would store the ammo. What how small this turret is. Septagus looks like a freaking Octorok from Zelda Ocarina of Time. It does. Green eyes and a long white nose. You're not wrong, Peter Burners. Yeah, that's going into look how they massacred my boy. I didn't think a base defense would get into this category, but somehow they managed to do it. Oh no. Oh no, guys. Look where we're at now. It's the C&C4 Juggy with the sticky bomb upgrade. Okay. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. It's like a Juggernaut from C&C3 and a Snub-Nosed Revolver loved each other very much and created this abomination. I'm not reading that out, Privateer Man, but Yes, I agree. No, you're all saying it now. What is this supposed to be? Who looked at this with the shorter barrels and thought, oh, that's a better design than C&C3s? Yeah, Pete of Darkness, short barrels make it look like a mortar tank. Somebody else was saying, like, yeah, I think it was supposed to, like, they wanted it to function more as a mortar than an artillery unit, but, like, gosh, look at this thing. Luke Danger, massacred, though not as badly as some other things. It's just more mortars than a long barrel artillery, but yeah, massacred. Yeah, I think we're all agreed. This is, look how they massacred my boy. I don't think it's as bad as the Guardian cannon, but it's not great, is it? Pete of Darkness, Sturmtiger from World War II. Sturmtiger. It Sturms Tigers. All right, this one's massacred. Let's move on. Let's not look at this thing any longer than we... Oh, guys, remember this? Sticky bomb upgrade. Look at that. Okay, no more. I won't subject to that anymore. All right, now we're getting into some of the better-looking base defenses, like the missile turret. I don't hate this. It's fine. I don't even know if I put it in the realm of I don't hate this, though. It might even just be I have no feelings on this. I mean, it is what it is, right? It's a missile-based defense. It's just kind of meh. Yeah. Let's put this in. I have no feelings on this. Okay, you are right. It does feel very GEI. But Bubba says uninspired. Yeah, I think we're gonna keep this in I have no feelings, because yeah, it doesn't look terrible, but it just evokes no feelings of like, wow, that's cool. It's just kind of there. All right, let's move on. Next one. Oh, this one. That would be the Rhino. Okay, so this is artillery, which is strange because this is defense class, so the Juggernaut would already fulfill that, except that the Juggernaut, I guess, is a mortar unit, not an artillery unit now, which is dumb. Here's how it looks deployed. Why would you make another unit to be DDI's artillery when you have the Juggernaut to work off of? I don't understand. Luke Danger, the metal box, but I'm putting this in I don't hate it. It's a decent unit. I just kind of redundant the Juggernauts. I don't think it goes as high as I don't hate it. Like, it looks like a reskinned Tib's Son not artillery to me. Like, it doesn't look GDI enough to me. Like, here it is, put together, and then you deploy it, and it's like, it looks like Nod's artillery. Like, it doesn't look distinctly GDI enough for me. And I just don't understand why you would make a brand new unit instead of just, like, making the Juggernaut work. Luke Danger. It doesn't look like a Nod artillery, plus GDI is using that chassis style now, starting with the Predator. Pete of Darkness disagrees. It does look like the Nod already. Or the Juggernaut can't do it. It's too ugly. Privateer Man. It looks like a brick on shreds when undeployed. I don't like it. Yeah, I'm going to have to override some of you guys. I don't like this. I think it's way too generic. I kind of want to put it in, I think that's just stupid. Not that it looks stupid. It just, within the context of C&C, why would you create this? But maybe you should just go and I have no feelings on this. It kind of personally offends me a little bit. I don't know. Does this offend you guys enough that it should go into that's just stupid, or do you think it should just be I have no feelings on this? It sounds like the consensus I'm getting from you guys is that it's just boring. If it wasn't for the Juggernaut, this would be I don't hate. Fair enough. Sounds like it's going to go into I have no feelings on this then. Okay, good enough. Moving on to the next one. We're getting some more base defenses. This one is, I believe, the Sky Strike Artillery. I'll be honest, I don't hate this. I've played, if you played the Generals mod, Shockwave Chaos, they have a bunch of base defenses that basically are like long-range artillery that can like outrange other artillery. And I always love the idea of a base defense that allows me to turtle so that I don't have to worry about even base crackers that'll destroy me. What do you mean? I forgot to put the Zone Trooper on the list. Zone Trooper's down here. And look how they massacred my boy. Yeah. No feelings. I wish it was in Tib Wars visuals. I don't hate this, but the barrel looks too boxy. That's a sci-fi base defense if I've ever seen one. I don't hate this, or I have no feelings. It's not standout. I'm going to go I don't hate this. I think this one is a decent one. If I saw this in a future game, again, I don't like the art style, but if they like change it so it's a little less boxy and a little more like sleek, like the C&C4 base defense designs, I could see this working out really well. Okay, let's move on. The next one. Oh, look at this guy. Look at this little goober. Look at this little man. He's so small. Look at that. Haha. Yeah. We need to apologize to the C&C4 Mammoth tank because we made so much fun of it for not having like a base or a chassis at all. Look at this. It looks like it's put together with popsicle sticks. I feel like one hit and this thing's gone. Luke Danger says, I wish it was canon. I actually like the Spartan if it was a mobile field gun rather than meant to be a GDI defense class tank. It's basically a Guardian cannon on treads. I guess. We've never really had self-propelled guns in C&C. So I don't even know how that would play. Yeah, I don't think this is supposed to be a successor to the Predator tank. I think that's supposed to be the Hunter tank. But look at this thing. It's all treads. It looks like they found like a construction vehicle and repurposed it. Yeah, that's a good point. This thing would be way better if this was the Guardian cannon, if they just took the turret. Yeah. I think this is just stupid. I don't know if I would say massacre because I don't really know what it's massacring, but this I think this is just plain stupid. Kraft says robot tank, but on tracks. It does kind of look like the robot tank, doesn't it? Septages, those exposed treads are just asking to be destroyed. Yeah. Bubba says GDI Bob Semple tank. That is a reference and a half, and I salute you, sir, for knowing about the Bob Semple tank. Look that up if you guys want to, if you want to see tank abomination. Frostbird says, looks like something the Forgotten would make. A little bit, yeah. Looks very like cobbled together. And that's what I hate about it. Is like GDI wouldn't make something that looks this cobbled together. Oh, is there a version without treads? I don't know if I have a picture like that. Because I think there is a version where like it can be knocked out the treads and then it's just... yes, once destroyed, it becomes full health repairable turret similar to the Guardian cannon from the last war. Crazy, right? Trevor Lane says the Bob Semple is better than this. All right, we're going to put this in. That's just stupid. All right, next one. Oh, bunker? No, this is a tunnel. Okay. So, yeah, this is something we can build as an instant transport network. I don't know why GDI has this. Like, I would probably put this, and I have no feelings on this, except I don't know why GDI has access to tunnels. So I'm going to leave it up to you guys. If you think it's stupid that GDI has tunnels, we'll put it in that's just stupid. Otherwise, it's going, and I have no feelings on this, because it's just a tunnel. Yeah, Privateer Man, it's a tunnel made of metal bricks, not GDI. Org Lupin says, stupid. Septadia says, super meh. Ike Fanboy, the most no feelings of all the no feelings units defenses. Cabal Reborn says, it's dumb. River Crew says, militarized neutral subway. Lieutenant, to be fair, GDI has excavators and the like, and there's the tunnels at the end of Kane's Wrath. But it doesn't fit GDI from a gameplay perspective, yeah. All right, we're going to have tunnels from Nod, so I'm going to put that's just stupid here because it's GDI. And I don't think anybody cares about this game enough to argue with me about that because it's a tunnel. Okay. Oh, look at this. This is the Zone Defender. Look at this guy. Do we have another angle? That's not the most flattering angle. Come on. Can we click on this guy? There we go. Well, that's not any more flattering. That's not flattering either. Yeah, this guy's got... I don't know, man. I'm struggling to think of anything positive to say about this thing. Why aren't the rocket pods like mounted on its shoulders? You know? Why is it... But like it is still connected to his back, but he still has to hold it? Like pick a lane, you know? Pick a Trevin lane. Privateer Man. Zone Defender valiantly tries to defend his game from the meanie viewers judging his guns. He fails. Zone Defender was not... Yeah, I just feel like it's just, well, that's just stupid. Ike Fanboy says, I kind of dig it, but I'm outvoted. Yeah, if I squint and turn my head a bit, it looks kind of cool. But like, I feel like it's just, well, that's just stupid. Just like, why would you give this to someone? Luke Danger. I put her under, I have no feelings on it. It's kind of just the game's obsession with double weapons. Yeah, I think I'm going to put it under that's just stupid. Unless anyone disagrees. Not a bad concept, just awful execution. Yeah, if she didn't have to hold it up, like if it just like folded into the back and then came up when she needed to fire, or it was something she held entirely in her hands, but it's this weird double thing for me. It's the fact that like it's connected to her back, but she still has to like hold it up. It's like, why? Pick one. All right. Well, that's just stupid. Okay. Next one is, okay, the Armadillo. I barely remember this unit. It could get a reflective dozer upgrade. What does this thing even do? It fulfilled the Guardian APC's role in GTA armies. It's heavily armored, slow, and out there it goes. The Guardian, its protector, was designed as much less Tiberian contaminated world. In-game unit. Heavily armored, like its predecessor. Any infantry is able to fire from inside the vehicle. Has its own weapon, a machine gun capable of shredding enemy infantry and light vehicles. It's pretty basic. It's also pretty bricky, you know? Just like a big brick. Root Crew says fatty APC. Luke Danger. Actually, it does fold up when not in use. When idle, they're vertically pointing up and machine she grabs. Yeah, well, that's my point, Luke Danger. Like, why does she have to hold it at all? Like, if it's connected. Anyway. Armadillo. I don't hate it. It's kind of like an AAPC if it had a minigun. It doesn't really stand out. I don't think it's stupid. It's just nothing. I kind of want to just put this in I have no feelings on it. Oh, Nisi says, I wish it was canon. It looks like an up-armored APC. Bold stance. Yeah, I agree with you, Privateer Man. I think it's inoffensive. Zaptageous. It looks like it's from the Fifth Element. Yeah. All right, we'll move on. This isn't a cool enough unit for me to waste any time on this. Okay. Now, if you like the missile turret, boy, do I have something for you. Even more missiles. See, I feel like on its own, this is not a bad base defense. My problem, and this isn't really going to factor into my voting, but my problem is that it's so endemic and so symbolic of all the problems of C&C4, in that in a regular C&C game, this would be an upgrade to the regular missile turret. Instead, it's a completely separate base defense. And I don't know why. So, I'm going to go with you guys. Tell me where you want to put it, because I don't really care at this point. Defense was my least favorite one. I like the zone troopers, but like so many of the defenses and the units just were like, whatever. Trevor Lane says kind of redundant, but otherwise meh. Copy paste. Alex Basadze. Luke Danger. I have no strong feelings on it. It does show that Tiberian Twilight was really trying to make too many units or different tiers. It's basically just a bigger missile turret. It is. Would the blue Tiberium core double the missile pods vertically or horizontally? Diagonally. That's what it would do. Yeah, let's. Yeah, I'm gonna say no feelings. I have no feelings on this. Same as your little brother. Okay. Okay. Now we're getting to some of the higher tier things, and we get the focus beam. So this is just like 4 ion lasers used for attacking heavy units. It can also attack air units too, which is kind of cool. I do kind of miss that the biggest base defense for GDI isn't a sonic weapon. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think of this thing? Squishy Music says I don't hate. Yeah, I don't hate this thing. Why is everything so angular in this game? I don't know, man. That was a choice. Privateer Man, this does not look like an AA turret. Well, it's not exclusively an AA turret. It can also engage like slow moving, like battleship aircraft. You know. Frostburn, nice gun, but I put it on a disruptor chassis. Oh, that'd be cool. Don't hate it. Very GDI based defense. Don't hate it, but where is the Sonic Tower? P of Darkness. It gives me vibes of the Sonic Disruptor from Tib Sun, but it didn't play defense. All right, let's put this in I don't hate it. Let's get another base defense in the I don't hate it crowd. But now, guys, are you ready? It's the ion cannon. And look at it here. And then at 50% charged and fully percent charged. Ugh. This is where I get to the I'm tired, boss. I'm tired. You understand, Colonel? I'm tired. Where do I begin? Where do I begin? Okay, here's where I begin. This might be the first ion cannon that fires from the ground. Yes, Peter Vargas, exactly. Is it the ion orbital weapon? Apparently that memo didn't get through. What is this? It's not an uplink station. It's not, oh, I'm sending a message to the ion cannon. It's we're gonna fire it from the ground. Like, don't even call it the ion cannon. It's not an ion cannon anymore. Andrew, did they replace the ion cannon orbit with a giant mirror or something? No, it's not like Generals. It legit fires on the battlefield. And you know what the worst thing is? It doesn't even do that much damage. It's more an EMP device than it is a weapon of mass destruction like it was in C&C4. They went backwards. Privateer Man says, it looks like they kit bashed out of the walls from Tiberium Wars. Pete of Darkness. Bullcrap. Honestly, it could be an EMP gun. It looks more like an EMP, and it functions like an EMP. Frostbird says, what were they thinking? It's more like a particle beam cannon. Does the beam bend? I don't know. I don't even know in universe how this is supposed to operate. Who thought this was a good idea? Luke Danger. Oh, wait, it's fire from the ground? Okay, yeah, that's massacred. If it's just an energy visual, that'd be one thing. But it's like going USA particle cannon? Massacre. At least the USA particle cannon has a giant orbiting mirror. I think this thing's supposed to fire like a mortar and just land somewhere. Ugh. Yeah, I agree with you all, guys. This is, look how they massacred my boy. In fact, let's bump this up. I think this is, we might come back and like do this later, but like this might be the most massacred we've seen anything. This is awful. Awful. Okay. Let's very quickly go through this. This is an outpost. That is all this is. I will not hear any talk on this. It is literally just an outpost. All right. Next one is we're on the defense class crawler, which I believe is up here. Okay, so let's take a look at this bad boy. So it's a brick on wheels. But come on, can I not switch to the next one? Hello? Okay. Tier 1 deployed. So it does that. And then, yeah, I'm not going to go through each one of these. Where's the... Here, pull this up. There we go. So, yeah. Yeah. Ike Boy says, kind of reminds me of the elephant from Halo. Privateer Man. Cannon, don't hate it. Very bricky, but MCVs are supposed to be. I do think the wheels are too small for it. Yes. It's like that huge thing that Jaw was traveling in Star Wars. You're right, Septageous. It's like the Sandcrawler. P of Artist. I think Legged design works better for GDI. I agree. Yeah, Bubba says the Jawas called. They want their home back. Luke Danger. Crawler, don't hate it. It's basically just like an MCV. I'll beat it bricky. Also, don't forget the Zone Raider when you move on to support. Don't worry. It'll get there. So, here's what I don't like about this. I think that it's too tall. All the MCVs had a kind of a more flatter profile. This thing is just too top-heavy and too tall. It looks weird to my eye. Yeah, because, yeah, it looks like a Sandcrawler. So, like, oh, it looks like an MCV. And, yeah, the wheels are too small. I don't like how small the freaking wheels are. And when it's deployed, like, it's too tall and not wide enough. I don't know. Like, I think the Nod Defense Crawler looks better than this. This looks so unbelievably basic and not in a fun MCV sort of way. I don't really like this design. But I think I'm outvoted by the community, so... Luke Danger, is this a successor to the MCV or the Mobile War Factory? If it's the latter, it looks similar. It does look a little bit like the Mobile War Factory. Andrew, if anything, the defense one should be shorter than everything else, not taller. I agree. Frostburn, budget cuts again, so GTI outsourced some of their work. Yeah, for me, I don't think it's dumb enough to go into, well, that's just stupid. I think that's too harsh. I would put it, and I have no feelings on this, but it feels like everyone else is kind of like, I don't hate this. Like, completely separate from the crawler concept, if this showed up in a new Tiberium game with base building and this was the MCV, would you be disappointed, or would you be happy about it? Antika makes a good point. Defenses only makes infantry, right? It doesn't need to be that tall. So yeah, answer me that, chat. If this was the new MCV for a base building CNC that had no crawler concept, would you be happy with this as an MCV design, or would you be like, where are the treads? Trevor Lane says he'd be fine with it. Alex Pisassa says, if it's the MCV, disappointed. See, that's what I think. I think I'd be disappointed. Squishy Music says, it'd be a fine campaign prop. Rick says, nope. Frostburn says, disappointed as an MCV, but as a unit, it's fine. This should be burying the lower half in, if anything. Yeah. Mobile War Factory, okay, but not as an MCV. Mobile Barracks, that could work. Luke Danger, it'd be okay with it as MCV, not great, but it's serviceable. I prefer the treads, though. All right, I think from that argument, I'm going to say that this goes into I have no feelings on it, because I don't think it, because most of the arguments I hear for like, oh, this is actually a flying unit is because it looks like an MCV. But then if I ask you, okay, would it work if it was just an MCV? Most of you say no. So to me, it's got to go here. I don't think it's as bad that it goes into that's stupid, but I don't think it deserves to be, and I don't hate this. These should have been treads. Okay. Now we're moving on to, oh gosh, our last one, the Zone Raider. So let me tell you something about the Zone Raider. Originally in C&C4 Kane's Wrath for Zocom, they fired like sonic grenade launchers. It was incredible. They could even engage air targets. This thing has a little cutting laser that they have to get right up next to a unit to attack it. Honestly, this unit just makes me sad. It really makes me sad. Can we get another angle? I'm going to try. We got some concept art here. But no, we don't. See, that one, I think it was originally supposed to have a laser, like a full-on laser, but I don't know why they decided to make it like really close up. I'm sorry, I can't get another angle. This is all the pictures they have. To me, that is, look how they massacred my girl. To me, that is an abomination compared to what the original Zone Raider was. Loot Danger. Honestly, the new role isn't bad. It's still an aggressive unit. The old Zocom unit was a Zone Trooper Plus. That set as a successor. Look at how they massacred my girl. Yeah. Look like a mobile Gundam on concept art. If she has a laser sword or something, I'd be more happy. That's the thing. If they like made it more like a laser sword or make it look, but it looks like a welding tool they just handed to this commando and said, go for it. Like, why? Yeah, I think we're putting this into look how they massacred my girl. Ugh. All right, guys, we did it. We're now moving on to support. What the heck is this thing? Is that the Archangel? I believe that's the Archangel. All right, so here's the Archangel. This is a repair vehicle that heals other air units, and I think it heal units on the ground too. So, yeah. What do you guys think of this thing? I don't remember really using this thing much. It's the one in the center. I mean, I guess it's useful. Interesting, Recruit said it kind of reminds you of the Orca Carryall. Frostburn says, I wish it was canon. Very GDI-ish. Squishy says, I also wish it was canon. Oh, interesting. We're getting some actually really positive stuff in here. Looks like an Orca Carryall. Looks like a freighter in No Man's Sky. Flying Gantry. I kind of like it. Looks like my Carryall. Repair beam's kind of weird, but fine otherwise. Pretty cool. I don't hate it. There's actually a lot of positive stuff on the Archangel. I'm surprised. Not that I hate this unit. I don't. I probably have no feelings on this one. But I'm actually surprised that there's a lot of you that straight up wouldn't hate having this in canon. All right. I'm not unhappy about this. Yeah, let's take a... This is probably our first like non-Tiberian Sun inspired unit that made it into I wish this was canon. So congratulations, Archangel. The little vehicle that could. I mean, it's not very little, but you get the point. Next up is... This technically isn't a unit. It's a support power, but it's the recon drone that you can send in from time to time to just sort of spy on the map. I would put this in I have no feelings on this, except it kind of looks a little too modern-ish. It doesn't look GDI sci-fi enough. It looks just like a Predator drone with a GDI paint job slapped on it, you know? Like, this is just a real-life thing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Frostburn. Like, this looks just like a regular drone that we have in the regular timeline. Like, it doesn't look... It looks... Yeah, exactly, Zaptages. It looks anachronistic. Like, yeah, I agree, Pete of Darkness. It's not bad, but it doesn't fit, you know? Yeah, exactly, Antika. But good point. This looks like GDI found it in a bunker from Tib War 1. So for that reason, I think it's got to go somewhere lower. I'm tempted to put it in That's Just Stupid because of its anachronism, but I'd be willing to put it in I Have No Feelings. Now let's put it in That's Just Stupid. I don't think it fits. It'd be like if they showed up with a Sherman tank in the middle of Tiberian Dawn. It would just be stupid. All right, well, we're not going to waste time on a recon drone, so we're going to move on. Oh, gosh. Is this the conductor? I don't even remember what this thing does. In-game unit. It is unarmed. Conductor's armed with EMP grenade launcher. Conductors have... good speed, cliff jumping. When upgraded with electrolysis projector, conductors gain the static field ability. When used, this creates an electric field in target area, dealing blast damage to all enemies caught inside. Yeah, I agree, Privateer, man. I played this game quite a bit when it came out. I don't even really remember this thing. So it's an EMP launcher, and when upgraded, it can create an electric field around it that damages units. I'm kind of tempted to put this in, well, that's just stupid. Like, I don't think I ever use this unit. It feels like a waste of population space every time I play the game. Trevor Lane says, an EMP tank? I don't hate it. But, like, in every other C&C, Trevor Lane, you would have a unit that had EMP as a side thing. Like, the Raider Buggy in C&C3 could do EMP. Why do we have an entire unit devoted just to EMP? Yeah, that's a good point about the gun being off to the side, but the cockpit in the center. I'm going to put this in. I think that's just stupid. I just don't see why you dedicate an entire unit to EMP. That seems really dumb. It's a waste of population space in a game where you barely have enough population space to build anything. No, they don't repair. They don't repair. Or do they? Oh, conductors have a repair radius around them. You're right. Okay, they do repair. All right, we're moving on. Conductors doesn't deserve to have that much time on it. All right, now we're finally getting into the air units. This one is the brand new Firehawk. So from what I understand, we got some concept art. Gosh, the concept art actually looks really cool. But basically, this thing, very similar to the original Firehawk in the sense that it can fire missiles and drop bombs, but if I remember correctly, it took forever to like recharge. We got to look at this beauty, actually beloved cannon, Firehawk 2.0. Privateer says too spiky for GI, but pretty cool cannon. I'm surprised that you guys are actually got some really positive feelings on this one. Looks like something out of Gundam. Not sure how I feel about it. Luke Danger says I don't hate it. It's pretty good. It's basically a fancier Firehawk. Docked and ready. Candidate it is, boys. Solid design. Looks too much like an anime ripoff. I like it. I think it's canon, although the sky on the bottom looks dumb. Doesn't look official. Looks like a mod. It looks dangerous, at least. I don't know if I want to put this in. I don't know if I want to put it in, like, I wish this was canon. I might have to, though. I think the community is saying, yeah, that's what I'm saying, Indika. It looks a little too busy. It doesn't look quite as clean. I think it should be a little more. Needs another design pass. I kind of want to put it in I don't hate it. But a lot of you did say canon. Like, do you guys love this design that much? If you guys want this in canon, now's the time to support it. All right, I'm just hearing don't hate it. Looks better than the OG Firehawk for sure. Really? That's a bold stance. I wouldn't put it in canon. I don't hate it the most. All right, I'm gonna put this in. I don't hate it. Okay, moving on. Also, I don't like that a lot of the horizontal flying vehicles in this game kind of just like sit around. They're not as cool as some of the other horizontal takeoff and landing ones. What is this? This is the Hurricane. I remember getting a fair amount of use out of this one back in the day. So basically, it's 2 Gatling cannons stuck on this. It was good against air, and it was good against ground. So, yeah. I don't hate this thing. I think it's fine. It was pretty useful. Squishy Music says, hate it. Recruiter says, jet-powered hammerhead. Ike Fanboy says, pretty okay design. Peter Vargas says, stupid big guns. Saptagus says, looks like a gym bro. Privateer Man says, remove the Gatling guns and it'd be a solid design. Yeah. Indika says, Wolverine but flying, basically a hammerhead. Trevor Lane says, I don't hate it. Big guns really make me hate it. Don't know how you'd land that thing, though. Blue Danger. I have no strong feelings on it. It's a decent enough design. Maybe not a GDI unit, admittedly, given the Wraith comparison, but still decent. Seems like a lot of you really don't like the big gun, and that might knock it down a bit. I think this is probably going to have to go into I have no feelings because it seems generally inoffensive, but the big cannons make it too big for us to put it in I don't hate this. All right, we've come so far. We finally made it to the Orca Mark V. Take a look at this. Look at this. It's the Orca, everybody. It's the Orca Mark V. In case you were wondering, where's the Orca Mark IV? They did in-universe create an Orca Mark IV, but it wasn't good. Nobody liked it, so they went back to the drawing board and made the Orca Mark V. I don't know what it is about this that's bugging me. Like, I can't put my finger on it. I think it's just not sleek enough. I think that's what it is. The Orca is supposed to be... Yeah, Trevor Lane needs a diet. It's too big. Luke Danger. On its own, I don't hate it. It's kind of decent as a heavy Orca, which it is technically. But as an Orca successor, that's stupid. I don't think it's quite massacred, though. Trevor Lane says it's look how they massacred my boy. The detached missile pods are weird. Yeah, it is... They're a little too far out, I think. I think that's what's bugging my eyes. They're too far out from the cockpit, and it looks weird. It is nice they can actually shoot air-to-air. Adiga says the Orca needs to be nimble. Missile on struts, engines on struts are awful and flimsy. Luke Danger. Feels more like an Orca bomber than the main Orca, to be honest. Yeah, you're right. All right, so where do we put it? Is it that's just stupid, or is it on the level that we massacred our Orca? Number one rival says it looks more like a gunship than a fighter or escort craft, which is what the Orcas usually perform. Not a dogfighter. No feelings are stupid. Not great for the Orc design. Septages. Could look better with better texture work. Not quite massacre. I can't believe it took them this long to make them properly usable. I know, right? Massacred, murder could be fine as bomber. It's just stupid. I wouldn't put it in massacred. I'm inclined to put it in, well, that's just not stupid, just because is it as dumb as what they did to the Ion Cannon, the Zone Trooper, the freaking stupid Guardian Cannon, and the snub-nosed Juggernaut? I don't know if it's that bad, but I'm getting a lot of massacred from people, so I think I'm going to have to agree to democracy and put this in. Look how they massacred my boy. Well done, democracy. Okay, this next one. Okay, the Spanner. Let's make this quick, guys. Not much to say. It's a repair drone. Okay, I don't know what this thing is. Just kind of just want to put it. I have no feelings. I don't really care. It's like I can't even be bothered to care enough to like comment or criticize it. It's like, you know, it's like that kid at school. There's like the ones that you like bullying because like they're kind of into it too, and like there's kind of a funny banter and repartee. And then there's the kid that you're just like, I don't even want to make fun of you. You look like you have a bad home life. I'm just gonna leave you alone. I don't know why I used that metaphor. That was but like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's just a repair drone. I don't want to take the time to like tear this thing apart. It's just a repair drone. It's going, and I have no feelings on this. Okay, next one is, ooh, the Hammerhead. Looks nothing like the original Hammerhead, but on its own, I don't hate this. I don't know, am I crazy? Am I crazy? Roxiffy says, on the Orca, remember that it's an icon of GI and has to be perfectly right. That's fair. That's fair. I remember getting a lot of use out of this because it was good against infantry and it was good against like medium units because it had the missiles and the... So it was a very useful like use of your population cap. Better than the Orca for sure. I would agree. It has none of the same function or form of the original Hammerhead. If anything, I feel like the Hurricane should have been called the Hammerhead. But it does look like a Hammerhead shark. Let's see. Nisa says, Massacre, why does it need 4 engines? Frostburn, I don't hate this. Not a Hammerhead successor to the Hammerhead name, but a solid gunship on its own. Trevor Lane, I don't hate this. And it looks more like an Orca than the Orca. Luke Danger, on its own, I don't hate it. As a Hammerhead, honestly, I'm kind of torn. As on the one hand, it does look like an infantry gunship. It would look really good at close fire port for infantry. Massacre from Squeeze Hue Music. What makes this different from the Orca? I don't know. It doesn't burn my eyes to look at it. Number 1 rival. Looks too boxy. Not enough angles like the original had. Andrew, don't hate. Have the rocket pods, the engines be decent. Cannon from Master Logic. Interesting. I'm going to put this in, I don't hate this. I think it's fun. I definitely think it needs another design pass. I agree it's a little too boxy, but other than that, like I think it's not a bad one. All right, boys. Welcome back to the one we've all been waiting for. The Kodiak. Much like the Mastodon, we take a one-and-done unit that could only be seen one at a time, and we turned it into a gunship that can be made multiples of. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Luke Danger, Cannon. If GDI is going to build a battleship for orbit, why not use the Kodiak as a basis? The Orca Command is a spacecraft after all. Getting a lot of cannons. Our beloved. Absolute cannon. Cannon is a serious upgrade. Cannon. See, guys, this is what's so interesting to me, is that I think more than any other unit we put, and I wish this was canon, this is the one I see routinely, even just on the internet, as universally loved by C&C fans. Of like, this is a great design. I wish this was something we had. Just, this is the part of, I think, C&C4 that saddens me, that there are some really good ideas, and then we just never get to see it again because it's just gone. The franchise is just, this is going, I think it's even going above, it might go above the Mastodon. Because the Mastodon, you at least had some complaints that it wasn't using actual railguns and it was using the Tusk sonic emitters that you thought was maybe a little too bulky. I'm not seeing really any criticisms of this. Nisi says, I actually like it. I think it's canon, but it should be a little more beefy to look at, almost too slim. Yeah, it could be a little bigger. Zeptages, arbitrarily amount of guns. Could never have too many guns. Luke Danger, the only thing I don't like about this is I don't think flying battleships really fit C&C while it's on Earth, but something like Empire at War scale, it'd be perfect. Yeah. I think after what happened with the Skrin and that they had like battleships and stuff, I think GDI would try to like match that, which I think even in universe, that was the impetus for making the Kodiak. I think some of this is even made from reverse engineered Skrin tech. All right. Glad to have another one on the Wish That Was Canon. So far, we've maintained pretty even with I Wish This Was Canon. Look How They Massacred My Boy. I'm surprised at how much of a fair shake we're giving a lot of these signs. All right. Okay, it's the Paladin. I'm going to try and go through this a little bit quicker because I do need to eat. So we're going to do a speed round for some of these. It's got a giant laser on the front. That's all it does. Look, I'll be honest, guys. I hate this unit. Like, I feel like this thing has personally offended me. Like, does it go in Look How They Massacred My Boy? Like, there never was a Paladin before, but it's pretty bad, right? Yeah, why are the engines so bulbous? Like, what even is this? Looks like a kid stuck a bunch of cardboard together and called it a day. I don't know. I think it's, well, that's just stupid. But do you think it's so bad that even though it doesn't have a predecessor, it goes into Look How They Massacred My Boy? I think we're going to put this in, well, that's just stupid. All right, next one. Okay. We have the Shepherd tank. I'll be honest, I don't hate the Shepherd tank. It kind of reminds me of the Predator tank a bit, except, without an off-center turret. It actually is in the center. And, it's still got that weird sort of like H shape here to it, but it looks like it's got some decent sloped armor on the front. Privateer Man says, to be absolutely, completely honest, canon. Yeah. Getting some stupid. At least tier 2, no feeling. I like it. Shepherd is canon for me. Yeah, it's a pretty good design. This is pretty good looking. Really doesn't need the radar dish thing, otherwise don't hate. Really nice main battle tank design. I don't hate it. They finally put it in the center turret. I knew you would like that, Trevin Lane. Loot Danger. I wish it was canon. It's basically the Predator Mark II. It would make a nice command tank with its defense buff area. Looks like a Predator. What secondary abilities does this tank have again? Good question. Let's check that out. And I like that it's named after General Shepherd. It gives a dodge bonus to other friendly GDI units and can pass a decent punch to non-forces as well. Achievement can be earned if the player uses this tank to destroy several units. Yeah, I remember getting quite a bit of use out of this tank. I really enjoyed using this, even though I was, support. Sorry, guys, I was checking a text. Debate amongst yourselves for a sec. Okay. Technically, all of GDI's cannon units are using railguns. They just look like blobs of energy for the art style. All right, I think we're getting a lot of I don't hate it. I think this might even be bumped into I wish this was canon. I really like this tank design. I think it maybe could add a little bit of stuff to make it a little better, but for the most part, I like this. Maybe bottom of I wish this was canon, but I think it deserves a spot here. For Shepherd, guys. For General Shepherd. All right, there. It's there. We're done. Moving on. Oh, gosh. The Thunderhead. Do you remember Thunderhead? Yeah. It fires lasers. It's a hover unit. It's got a big amount of armor, and it fires a laser. It can engage air units, too. I kind of have no feelings on this. It doesn't offend me. Yeah, see, Luke Danger caught my end of mode reference. Yeah, it's Derpy Marv. Yeah, it's a hover unit. Yeah, I don't know what to say, man. I'll go with you guys on this. I don't even know what I'm looking at. No feelings, just a box, big dumb box. Nice voice at least. Looks like the Marv's derpy cousin. Yeah, I think we're gonna put this, and I have no feelings on this. I don't. How am I supposed to critique a box? Like what? There we go. There it is. It's a laser. It's an ion laser on a hover chassis. Sherman Lane, my only gripes is that hover units shouldn't have heavy armor. PM Dark's middle tier, not sure why I have 4 non-tread treads. Yeah, that's a good point. It looks like it has 4 treads that aren't treads that are hovers. That's kind of weird. Yeah, we'll put it in the meh. It's just a box. I can't critique a box. All right, now we finally get to the support crawler. Woo! So let me see if I can find a better picture here. Here we go. So I don't know. I don't have the same feelings of I don't like this as I do the defense crawler. I don't love it as much as the offense crawler, but I don't know. It's kind of cool. I wish that I could deploy air units while still in the air. I don't like that it has to go on the ground to deploy air units that are just going to go right back into the air. I think that's kind of dumb, especially since in universe it's described as a mobile aircraft carrier, but it can't deploy aircraft while in the air. So, Ike Fanboy says, undeployed is good, deployed sucks. I think it's fine deployed. It's not great. Another flying box. Again, MCV, no. Unit on zone, yeah. Deployed is what the defense deployed should have been. I agree. Meh, but better than defense. It's fine. I don't hate it. It makes sense as a GA aircraft carrier MCV replacement. It looks very industrial. Yeah, and when fully upgraded, it's pretty fun. And I like the radar dish and stuff that really brings home that it's support and it's calling in extra stuff. Flying mode just looks like a pile of polygons. It does, but I like the angular sort of like hover engines. I think that's kind of cool. I think the consensus is I don't hate this. I think we like it better than the defense crawler, but we don't like it as much as the offense crawler. I think it deserves to be an I don't hate this. Okay, tier 2. Now we're doing the last of the GDI stuff, and this includes stuff that isn't in any of the... it's not anywhere. Because the reason why is it is... No, that's not... How do I... Is it not the Argus? Was the Argus not one of them? How was that not the name of this thing? I thought this was the Argus. Where's... It's not showing up in any of my search stuff. Oh, here we go. Arcus. That's what it was. It's the Arcus. Okay, so this was a one-time unit that was used at the very end of, I believe, the Nod campaign as like this boss unit that was slowly approaching to destroy the Skrin Tower before Kane could use it. So it's like a GDI super boss unit battleship. Frostburn, Arcus versus Skrin Mothership. Who agrees? Squishy Music says, I don't hate it. I mean, yeah, I don't remember it. That's, yeah, it kind of looks like a capital ship. It looks like something that like GDI Command would be in, but it's also not as cool as something like the Kodiak. I don't know. Is this a I have no feelings on this sort of a thing? Yeah, you don't even get to control it. It's used by GDI when you play as Nod. Trevor Lane says cannon, low cannon. I never used or encountered it. Yeah, it sounds like this is, you guys don't have like any strong feelings on this one way or the other. Yeah, clear and vulnerable bridge at the top. Oh, boy. All right, we're keeping it, and I have no feelings on this. All right, next up is the engineer. I mean, what can I say? It's an engineer. I like that it can repair units in the field. I think that's kind of cool. But, I mean, it's just zone armor with a giant crane with a laser in it. Zeptages doesn't like the design. Frostbird says they massacred my boy. Oh, we're going that far? Zeptages, what is that, a cattle prod? Kind of looks like it. Peter of Darkness looks stupid. GDI saw the Tib War Saboteur and decided bigger claw. No feelings, meh. Despite it pummeling my forces, I like the boss level gunship GDI peak technology. We took the suit from Alien 2 and removed an arm. Stupid. All right, I think we're not going to waste time on this. It sounds like it's just going in. I have no feelings on this. Okay, next one is the Global Stratospheric Transport, or the GST, capable of being in atmosphere or up in space. These are the things that launched the pods that would give the crawlers down into there. We see them in-game a few times, especially when they're crashed. We see them also in GDI's area being constructed. This is kind of what they look like. This is kind of basically the successor to the Kodiak. This is what everybody kind of thought in universe, like, okay, we need something like the Kodiak that can go up into space, but also land everywhere we need and drop crawlers. And they built this. Let's see what you guys think. Privateer Man says cannon. Andrew says cannon. Rocket says that's the render. Super Kodiak. I don't hate it. It is okay. Man, the artwork looks better. I disliked it. I really loved the GST. I really loved them. I don't know if I still feel that way today. I think they're really cool. That is the Flying Command Center, I guess, but it's not S tier. I really want to put it in canon, but it kind of seems like you guys are more on the level of a tier 2. I don't hate this. I don't see it as a Kodiak Mark II. I think it's meh. Well, it's more than a Kodiak Mark II because it's meant to do more than just house like your commander. It's meant to like be able to drop crawlers and basically start a hotspot anywhere in the world. Like it's pretty, I don't know, I think it's pretty impressive. But it sounds like you guys aren't as hot on it as I am, so we're going to have to put this in. I don't hate this, unfortunately, even though I would personally probably want to put it in. I wish this was canon. Okay. Guess what, guys? We've made it to the Brotherhood of Nod. And we're going to try and burst through these pretty quick. But let me ask you another question for this break as we're now going into the Brotherhood of Nod. When did you guys realize, like, I guess the question is, what did you guys think of the story at the time? Like, we had a lot of you, it seems like your stories of when you thought this game was awful is when you realized that there's no base building and the unlocks were awful. Whether you experienced the story yourself through beating both campaigns or by looking it up online on YouTube, what was your, like, visceral reaction when you realized how the story ended? Also, another fun fact, this might have the most convoluted canonicity of any C&C game. Just really weird how, like, it's technically the same person, like, GDI and Nod, like, it's, oh, the GDI campaign is if you join Colonel Louise James. Nod is the campaign where you join Kane. But in both campaigns, like, there's still somebody who has the uplink that makes the Tiberian Control Network work and make the screen thing come online. In both campaigns, somebody shoots Kane and there's presumably a body double, but if that wasn't you, then who was that? And then in one campaign, your wife dies, and the other one she doesn't. So, like, the canonicity is the weirdest it's ever been. And I don't ever want to touch that with a 10-foot pole to try and, like, unput together that. Peter Darkness says, I started to hate it when the main character's wife died. Yeah. My main reaction was just, okay. Fair enough, Ike fanboy. Rocket Head, I never had it, looked it up, didn't think much of the time, and soured over time. Trevin Lane, Nod had some ugly units. I never saw the whole story in game. I was just a loathsome story. I wish it never existed. Peter Darkness, both endings are awful. Yeah, I don't like how, like, it doesn't matter what you pick. If you pick either GI or Nod, you're still going to help Kane activate the TCN. Like, you have no choice. Squishy Music, I found the ending compelling in a vacuum, but not really moved me otherwise. Or Glusman, first time watching Let's Play, and then I thought it's okay, but after some time I didn't like it. Nastologic, I'm still wondering why it needed to have choices for the game that doesn't affect the ending or even change the story. Exactly! That's my point, Nastologic. Arbiter says, feelings about the ending was, wait, what? Andrew, I don't know what to feel about the story. You should feel awful about it. Alex Basadze, not really a spike of hatred, just a consistent descent into stupidity. Yeah. Yeah. Andika says, the body double, Kane must have just asked a random not loyalist. Kukam is carrying so hard. You're absolutely right, Squishy Music, and I do want to bring attention to that. The fact that some of Kane's best performances are in there. That scene, like I posted it a lot of times in my video essays where Kane talks about how, like, when I arrived here, you were all living in mud huts. You were living in caves. And he brings all that up, or the whole thing about, like, when I'm gone, you can have your planets back. Like, Kane acts the heck out of that, and I love it. I just hate that it was in such a terrible game. Septasia says, I like the cinematography, felt a bit more, well, cinematic. C&C3's FMVs felt more static and unimmersive. Yeah, C&C3 was definitely a throwback to one of the earlier C&C games, FMV styles. Nissa says, I pre-ordered the game. I got a small-sided signed poster of Joe Kukane's Kane. So I was so happy when the game released. When I had to choose between Kane and the GA Commander of the campaign, I lost it. Yeah. Yeah, he tried, though. He tried his best to carry that. His back must have gotten so many problems from carrying that so hard. Okay, we ready? We're still, well, you're here at a good time, Romanoff. We're just about to start ranking the Nod stuff. We've finished ranking all the GI stuff. I'll just summarize just the top and bottom ones. We put the Kodiak, the Mastodon, the Sandstorm MLRS, the Offense Crawler, the Archangel, and the Shepherd Tank all in I Wish This Was Canon. And we put the Abomination EMP Ion Cannon, the Zone Trooper, the Guardian turret, the Snub-Nosed Juggernaut, the Zone Raider, and the Orca all in. Look how they massacred my boy. All right, let's get started on Nod. So we're done with GDI, so we're going to end that. And we are going to move ahead to here. So offense, we got ourselves the attack bike. I mean, it's the attack bike. Oh, God. I'm sorry. I never expect it when they just throw on an extra rocket pod. I'm never expecting it. It's so stupid. Okay, we're just judging it on the basic one. Oh my gosh, I never noticed that before. Look at that flimsy suspension for that front wheel. That is awful. I don't know. It looks pretty derpy. I don't like the way the cockpit looks kind of bulbous. Is this They Massacred My Boy bad, or is that it's just stupid? Tier 4, Tier 5, guys. What are you thinking? If the missile pods were smaller, it would have been better. I agree. A lot of the missile pods in this game are too big. Rocket pods are a bit big, but I don't hate it. Bad. Just why? Stupid. I don't hate it, but it needs a redesign. Okay, I think we're getting a lot of that's just stupid. If I look at it from a distance, it's not terrible. I still recognize the profile is like, oh yeah, that's an attack bike. It's got the recognizable silhouette. But yeah, bottom of 4. I agree. All right, here's the next one. The Cyborg Commando, the only one of 2 infantry units that offense gets for Nod. I remember really liking this. I do agree, Lobster Commando, like the 2 kind of like weird horns in the back are a bit much. But I like the fact that they kind of went back to the idea of the cyborg being like barely any human flesh left. That's kind of the way the Tip Sun one was. I really didn't like that in C&C4 you can see a lot of the human flesh. I think you can see too much of the human flesh on the basic cyborgs in Kane's Wrath. Yeah, I agree. Squishy music, the hijack mechanic was great. Romanoff says, I don't see what's cyborg about him. Trevor Lane says it looks like an action figure. Gameplay-wise, very fun unit. I'm glad they brought him back, but that is the Commando. Let's see if I can find another picture. This is the concept. Whoa, no, that's not what I wanted. I don't know. What do you guys think? Where does this belong? I'm getting a wide spread of people. Where do people want this? Here's some concept art. What is that? Yeah, avert your eyes, children. So yeah, where do you think that should be? Tier 3. Sorry. All right. I kind of want to put it in I don't hate it, but I know there's a bunch of you that feel a lot lower. So do we split the difference and say I have no feelings on this? We're getting some I don't hate it's. I don't know if this one would fit even in Universal War. It's really low poly compared to the infantry there. No feelings. What else does he do? He fires a laser. He's really good against big units. He can hijack enemy units. So he's kind of a mixture of the mutant hijacker and the cyborg commando. All right, I'm going to put this in I don't hate it. But maybe like the bottom of I don't hate it. Okay. Let's move on. This time we're going back to the Raider Buggy. I think this is going to be very similar to... What is the Blue Tiberium Core? Oh, just two more guns. Interesting. Very similar to the attack cycle. Just it has a recognizable silhouette. You can tell it's a Raider Buggy. I don't hate it as much as the attack cycle. I don't know. It seems fine. The gun might be a bit big. Honestly, I like it. I wish the gun was smaller. Yeah, similar. Nisa says cannon. Nasty logic. Similar to Doom 3, whether you choose to either send the distress signal or not, it doesn't change the story. And here, you choose either G or not. The ending is just the same. Yeah. Subtagious. I think it looks pretty cool. Cannon for me, I think. Really? We're getting some cannons here. Tier 2 next to the Bulldog. Squishy thinks it's stupid. Little Lord Jumper. I also hit 198 subs in the past 2 weeks. Nice work, Little Lord Jumper. Dika says, I like it. Looks like a lunar rover. Fine is the best way to describe the Raider. RC car feeling to it. I don't think I can put this in canon. I think we have to put it in I don't hate this. I think we'll put it above the Commando, though. Buggy. All right. So, Buggy, you made it. You survived. Well done. You beat out your cousin for this spot. So, next one is... Oh, no! It's the spider tank, everyone! What is... It's the spider tank. It's the spider tank. If you don't know what it is you're looking at, it's got wheels on each one of its legs, and it's kind of omnidirectional, and it's got a laser that it shoots out its butt or its front. I can't remember. You've talked to see what I like it. Orglusen says, burn it with fire. What is that? What the heck is that? Spooderman tank. I get sick when I look at it. Gameplay was fun, though. Romanov, what a weird unit, but I don't hate it. It certainly feels like something from Westwood Dune games, like the Ordos Dust Scout. Kill it with fire, Trevor Lane says. It should not exist. Little Lord Jumper. All right, I have to dump out of the stream. All right, see you, Little Lord Jumper. Privateer Man. Spider tank. Spider tank. Does whatever a spider tank does. Goes in the trash every time. No hope, just let it fly. Look out. Here comes the spider tank. Nuke it from orbit. Paper tanks. It looks terrible. Make it cannon immediately. Okay. I'm going to put this in, well, that's just stupid. Because it is. It's really stupid. It's not massacring like a previous unit. And I think it gets a little bit of points that keeps it out of the bottom tier because it's kind of adorably derpy and stupid. Like, it's stupid in an adorable sort of way. I think. It's stupid in an adorable way, and that saves it. But otherwise, yeah, that is just extremely stupid. All right, next. Oh, no! I just saw what we're doing next. Oh, no. I wonder if we can get the pre-release stuff. Oh, my gosh. Oh, no. Okay. This is the Avatar, everybody. Whee! Do we get... Please tell me you have some pre-release stuff. Do we have pre-release? Yes, look at this. This is what it looked like before they changed it. It's cigarettes sticking out of it. This is what it looked like before. And then they got so much backlash they had to change it. It's got 2 arms, but if you upgrade it with the Blue Tiberium Core, it gets 4. Look at this. It looks like a zombie. Why is its arms permanently stuck like that? It just... And the other thing, too, is why didn't they keep it having lasers? Why did they change it to like an anti-tank thing? But just... Oh, gosh. Man, look at this. This is what it used to look like. What is this? Oh, look at that. Early concept art, it was supposed to have 2 lasers. That looks so much better. Look at this. Look at that. That concept, you guys were right. The concept art looks way better than what made it into the final game. That looks amazing. Oh, gosh. Yeah, there's no way I can look at this and not put this in. Look how they massacred my boy. That is some top tier massacring right there. Ugh. Just awful. Okay, well, let's move on to something else that I think will have a bit more helpful discussion, which is the Avenger tank. With blue Tiberium core, not bad. So this is Nod's main battle tank for offense. When you upgrade it, it gets like a bigger turret, but I don't hate this. I'll be honest, I feel like Nod has never had a good looking tank except for the light tank in Tiberian Dawn. I think the light tank in Tiberian Dawn is the last time Nod had a well-designed tank. The Tick Tank, I wish the Tick Tank looked cooler, but it doesn't. The Scorpion tank from C&C4, I mean, it fits the vibe. It's like Nod slapping together a tank. They don't have a lot of resources. This actually looks like a decent tank. The shape of the turret's a little weird, but it looks like a decent tank. We are judging mostly from the base version. Oh, Renegade Light Tank. Oh, you're right, Romanoff. The Renegade Light Tank is actually the best looking Nod tank. You're right. You were right. But I really like the Tiberian Dawn Light Tank as well. The Black Hand variant in Renegade is pretty cool too. But yeah, paper tanks. Everybody's saying that it looks like a successor to the Tick Tank, or that it looks like a tank destroyer. Why does Nod get good looking cannon barrels in this game? I know, right? Like, look, this isn't a cigarette. Was it that hard to not give the Mammoth something that wasn't looking like a cigarette? Gives me Stug 3 tank vibes. Yes, this is the Stug. It's Stugs. Tiberian Dawn Light Tank is a Bradley, so yeah, obvious. Of course it's good. Actual GLA Marauder. Yeah, it does look like the GLA Marauder tank. I don't know. I feel like I want to put this in I don't hate this. I feel like it's good. It's a solid tank. It gives enough vibes of being kind of that Nod Scorpion bug-like design without going overboard. We need anything S tier for Nod coming up. We'll get something. We will. I promise you. Okay. Next one is the offense crawler for Nod. This might be in the running. I really like this design. It's sort of based, they said, off of like the C&C3 MCV design. I like how it kind of looks like a beetle, how it's very stompy. It's not like the GDI one where it's very straightforward. This one kind of swings its legs about as it walks forward. No, it's still a Covenant Scarab. Yeah, a little bit. I really like that when it deploys, instead of having the normal like gate open like GDI does, it's got like an underground thing like the C&C3 War Factory. I like the lasers and the flame mortar that it eventually gets. Yeah, I would put this in I wish this was canon, the same way I would the GDI offense crawler. What do you guys think? I'm hearing a lot of 1s and 2s. I want to put it in tier 1. I think this is good enough to be canon. I think this should be our first Nod unit that makes it into I wish this was canon. All right, screw it, canon. Let's do it. Nice work, guys. Let's give ourselves a pat on the back. We put our first Nod unit into the canon. By the way, when this is all done, I'm going to try and save this and then post it so that you guys can download it or keep it for yourselves. All right, let's go to the next one. Okay, we're going to the Flame Tank. It's certainly a tank that shoots flame. Yeah. Let's see. What does it look like? Oh, it's just got more claws, I guess. And another little fuel tank there. Yeah. It's so square, right, guys? Yeah. No, the legit, the tanks at the back, they legit wrote in the unit profile, like, those stupid GDI, they think that it's exposed, but it's actually given reinforced armor, and it's almost impossible to shoot through and ignite the barrel tanks. It's like, that feels like cope. That feels like cope. That feels like something that Kane sent in pamphlets to the soldiers so that they wouldn't freak out. Look, I agree with Trevin Lane in the sense that I don't think I really love the C&C3 flame tank either. But, I mean, what is this? Yeah, let's, I'm tempted to put this in, look how they massacred my boy. Who's with me? Who disagrees with me? Because unless I hear contrary arguments, I'm throwing it into look how they massacred my boy. Ike Fanboy says, I don't hate it. Vertman Han says, feels like a downgrade to C&C3. Bubba's Big Blast says, are there armored tanks in the room with us right now? Cabal Reborn says, more box. Doesn't even burrow, shaking my head, Septagus says. Privateer Man, rejoice, flank tape drivers. The fuel tanks are reinforced in a perfect CDF fire. Keep away from the open flames and gunfire. Was the team on EA on crack when they made this? And yes, I agree. Hey, Warhawk Rambo, welcome to the chat. All right, I'm getting Massacre. We're putting it in Massacre. Look how they massacred my boy. All right, we're almost there, guys. Oh, is this the Mantis? Okay, this is the Mantis with... Oh, they just threw extra rockets on the back for that. Okay. This is the new Mantis, guys. Look, I'll be honest. I wasn't like a huge fan of the Mantis in Kane's Wrath either. It was kind of like the budget, not equivalent of the Slingshot for GDI, but like... why does it have that thing on the back? Why is it carrying... I just don't... Like, my brain gets scrambled when I look at this thing. I don't even know what to say. That's what I'm saying, Peter Darkness. Why does it have a trolley on the back? What is that? I don't know. I don't like it, but I can see an argument for I have no feelings on this. Here, you want to see the munitions trolley be used again? Boop. There it is. Yeah, I agree with you guys. We're gonna put this into Let's Just Stupid. I would say like they massacred my boy, but like, were there any hardcore fans of the Mantis at Kane's Wrath to begin with? Oh, here we go, guys. We're finally here. It's the Scorpion tank. And when it's upgraded... Okay, the obvious joke is here. I'm going to let the chat do the joke for what happened to the Scorpion tank when it gets the blue Tiberium core upgrade. You're going to have to give me that joke yourself, because I'm not saying that out loud. Oh, gosh. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. Yeah, Privateer Man got it. That was the joke I was going for. Look at this thing. It's a literal scorpion. Like, I'll admit, as a dumb kid, I thought this was kind of cool, but looking back on it, like, it's so front heavy. What is this? Like, I like that it could drill and it could grab units and it was like an obelisk. Like, that's kind of cool. Who thought we need to make this thing look like a literal scorpion? Ike Fanboy says, Scorpion is just stupid for me. It definitely should have been in a role like the beam cannon from Tiberian Wars. We'll say, though, that the secondary ability I love, this thing goes full dead metal. Yeah? Just look at the description, too. It's comedy gold when you believe your lying eyes. Yeah, I love that, like, in universe, there's Marcion or somebody was like, oh, the Scorpion tank from C&C3 was more like a cockroach. This is way better. And I'm like, are you serious? Yeah, no, we're putting this in Look How They Massacred My Boy. And that's coming from somebody who didn't even really love the Scorpion tank from C&C3. And I still think this is a massacre of something I didn't even really like that much. All right. Well, good luck on that one, guys. Glad you guys got to help rate that one with me. What the frick is this? What? Oh, no. That's supposed to be the Spectre? Oh, no. Come on, load. Load. Okay, can you... Oh, my gosh. Guys, that's supposed to be the Spectre. What? Oh my gosh. What have they done to you, my child? What did they do to you? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. That's supposed to be an artillery unit, guys. I think they turned it into a mortar. Like, I thought what they did to the Juggernaut was bad. Look what they did to my boy. I don't think he even stealths anymore. Does he stealth anymore? Oh my gosh, it doesn't stealth. Oh, they did. Oh, look what they did to you. Oh, this is going high up on the look how they massacred my boy. Like, that is, where'd he go? Where'd I put him? Where'd he go? Did I lose him? Oh, what the? Oh, there he is. Okay, there he is. Yeah, just awful. Just awful. I don't even want to talk about it anymore, guys. This is really saddening me. This is sadness. All right, let's go back to the stealth tank. All right, are you guys ready for this? You should expect this by now. But here's what this thing looks like as regular, and here's what it looks like with the blue Tiberium core. Come on, click. Come on. Yeah, look at that. Come on. Why is my internet doing this to me now? Come on. There we go. We went from this to this, because that's apparently the only move they know. This is the new stealth tank, everyone. You know what my problem with this is? It does become invisible. It is still a stealth tank. But you know what my problem with this is? Yeah, exactly, Privateer Man. Why is it so tall? The C&C4 stealth tank got it perfect. Nailed it. No notes. It's perfect. It's sleek. It's low to the ground. This thing is so tall. Why is it so big? Why isn't it lower to the ground? Ike Fanboy says, looks like someone globbed a bunch of solder onto a Tiberium War stealth tank. Ezekiel's wheel became Ezekiel's walking stick. Yeah. The lore for it is bad. It's way too tall. It's just huge. Right. Wasn't the lore something super weird? Like the White Lady or something like gave the technology to Nod and everything. I don't even know what that's about. None of it makes any sense. Yeah, exactly, Privateer Man. Someone took the Tiberium Wars 3 stealth tank and applied a bike pump to it. Yeah, this is going straight into look how they massacred my boy. All right. Next up, the Widow. It's a giant tracked vehicle with a big laser on it. I don't really have any feelings on this. Do you guys? Oh, concept art for the stealth tank? Yeah, we'll go back to that as soon as we rate this thing. This thing's got concept art. Well, that is worse. That's the first concept art I've seen that actually looks worse than what they ended up with. Yeah, I don't have any thoughts on this, so wherever you guys want to put it, I guess. All right, no feelings. Okay, that's good. Let's go back. You said you guys wanted to see the stealth tank concept art. Is there any concept art? I just want to see. Let's see. What's the next unit? Oh, this thing. Oh wait, are we on? Oh, we're on defense now. Oh, we're on defense now. Okay. We'll get to that in a bit. Where's the? That's the concept art for the Nod stealth tank. Man, it looks better. It's still not great. Whenever you get the chance, look up the Nod Firefly Squad. It was a cut unit from the game and only got as far as concept art. Yeah. Okay. So, why is it still here? Okay. We're now on defense. The Aftershock. It basically creates earthquakes. I guess it's an area denial thing. I don't know, man. This kind of looks stupid to me. I feel like that's that's just stupid. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Peter Darkness. It creates earthquakes. It's an earthquake machine. Yeah. Yeah, kind of like a mad drone. That's a good way of putting it, Root Crew. Basically, it's the underminer with a self-detonation ability. Soviet mad tanks, stupid, no feelings, looks not kind of, way too busy. Ike Fanboy, from a concept perspective, Aftershock is S tier, using earthquakes to kill people. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of dumb, so we're going to put that in. Well, that's just stupid. All right, now we're finally getting to the cyborgs. This is one thing I did like, is that the infantry in this game for GDI are zone troopers, and the infantry for Nod are mostly cyborgs. So let's get the Ascended. Why did I agree to do this? Why am I doing this to myself? Why is this the path I chose for how to spend my Saturday? I'm really questioning a lot of my life choices now, guys. Isn't the Ascended supposed to be the one in Kane's Wrath that was like the white looking ones that fired like particle lasers? How is this a successor to that? Oh, that was the Enlightened? What was the other one called? It was the Enlightened, and I can't remember what they were called. There was the other one that was called something different. Still, Ascended is pretty dumb. Awaken, thank you. Okay, what do we do? We put this at well, that's just stupid. Let's put it there. It's just stupid. All right, we got a bunker. I'm not taking any time for this. The bunker goes, and I have no feelings on this. We have the Nod tunnel. Now, we put that in, well, that's just stupid for GDI, because GDI wouldn't have tunnels. This, at least, is like what Nod would have tunnels. Are we going to put that in I have no feelings also? I mean, it's a tunnel. It's a tunnel, guys. I'm not going to argue with you guys about a tunnel. All right. We now have the Devout. So this guy, I think, fires machine guns. Can be upgraded to 2 machine guns. This is generally what they look like in concept art. I don't hate the little guy. It's kind of cool. I do kind of agree that a lot of Nod cyborgs in this era don't show enough of like human flesh to like kind of show that they look like it, but you know, he's fine. He's just a little guy. Not awful, just kind of meh. Are we gonna put this in I have no feelings on this? Okay, we got some I don't hate it. Concept looks nice, just don't hate it. Looks depressed. I think we're gonna put him in I have no feelings. Okay. What is this guy? Is this Enlightened? It is Enlightened. Okay. So these are the Enlightened. And this is what they look like now. That laser beam is not them. That is an engineer that's repairing them. This is a cannon that they're firing because they're now anti-armor, I believe. Yeah, this is the Enlightened, guys. This is the Enlightened. Yeah, they have cannons, anti-armor cannons. Not that I can find. Nope, there are no other pictures. You very quickly realize on the Ava database, the further you get along, the less you realize anybody actually cares. I mean, we got this. I feel like they massacred the Enlightened. That's just me. I feel like they massacred it. They used to have particle cannons, right? And then they got the regular cannons, like what they did to the Zone Trooper. It's awful. I don't think any of you even care enough to argue with me, so we're just gonna put the massacre. Okay. We got base defenses now. Yay, my favorite. So we got the flame column. What do you think? It fires a mortar of flame. Yeah, you know, you're absolutely right, Antika. It is the wiki editors slowly losing their motivation to really do anything. I don't know. What do you think? It's a base defense that fires a mortar of flame. Like what I don't know. I'm getting meh and lame. Do we want to say that's just stupid, or I have no feelings on this? I like the ball turret, the ball gun. It's stupid. Why is it a ball? Ball, meh. I'm gonna say no feelings on this. All right, now we're getting somewhere. The Obelisk of Light, specifically the DS7. And again, all we have is concept art because nobody can be bothered to get in-universe screenshots of this thing. It is, the wiki editors are really losing it. They have no motivation anymore, so this is it. I will say this Obelisk of Light, while nothing special, I like that it is one of the... I like that it's the first version that can actually engage with air units. I think that's cool, especially if C&C started going further into having more airships. I think that's really cool. So, I don't know. I kind of the mind that I don't hate this. Maybe even I wish it was canon. It kind of depends. Yeah, exactly, Peter Burns. It looks like a refinement of the obelisk from Tib Wars. Looks like the obelisk little brother. I wish I could get like an actual picture of like this thing, but I don't think they exist. I don't know. What do you say? I want to put it in I don't hate this. Okay, I feel like they're saying that. Don't hate it. Okay, cool. Then we have the outpost. That's going in. I have no feelings on it. It's just an outpost. We get the Reaper. So we haven't seen this since Firestorm. It's got a laser. It looks like this. So that is what it looks like. You can kind of see it here at work. Like, it's... Yeah, the spikes are maybe a bit much, but, you know, I think it's a solid update of the Reaper design. I think you're all saying we don't hate it, so we're going to put it in I don't hate it. Okay, tier 2. Great, we're all very much aligned on this. And now we have base defenses again. Gosh, I hate base defenses. Oh, look at this. Can you slowly see the wiki writers' will to live just diminish as they get through this? This is all I have. This is the only picture. That's it. I don't know, man. I don't have any feelings on it. It's missiles. Unless you think it's just stupid and we just move it down. I don't care. I don't care. I'm losing my will to live with this. This is... I expected this to infuriate me. It's not infuriating me. It's just draining me of all motivation and will to engage with this franchise. let's just keep going. The next one is the Black Hand. Yay. So these are now Cyborg Black Hand, I think. Or maybe they're still guys in suits. I can't tell. That's cool. That's going on my wallpaper. Look at this little dude. I don't know, man. What do I do with this? Is that enough to say that they massacred him, or do we just say meh? Funko Pop Black Hand. Nod power armor. I don't know what to do with this, guys. I'm getting massacred. Could be worse, just not great either. Not terrible. They do look cool. All right, we'll put it under. I have no feelings on this. Yeah, I was just looking at the lore. Okay. Oh, here we go. The Centurion, I believe, is what it's called. Where do you? Oh, he's actually counts as a ground vehicle. Okay, is this guy actually a cyborg? Well, yeah, this is the Centurion. Let's see if we have any. Okay, Peter Darkness, hear me out. This should be the Avatar. Maybe. I'm getting Peak. They look stupid and kind of like the aliens with the Fifth Element during the intro. The voice actors are all right, though. This next unit is like a lot for some reason. I love riot shields. Cannon. Centurion is 1000% cannon for me. I love this guy so much. Avatar size. I like this one. It's a mech. Should be a Cabal unit. Rising Sun unit. I wish this was canon. We have Titan at home. What I wish the Avatar was like. This one is canon. Avatar's cousin for sure. Pretty cool, not gonna lie. Too sci-fi for me, though. Really good design. Canon. I am happy to put this in canon. I have always loved this unit. I built this a lot as defense for Nod. I think this is going in canon. We've done it, guys. We've put a second Nod unit into canon. Give ourselves a hand. We did it. Speaking of really cool units, guess what we finally get to take a look at? My favorite of the two defense crawlers, the Nod defense crawler. Now, on its own, I like that it's got more wheels. I feel like the wheels on the GDI defense crawler are too small. This looks like it could actually maybe support the weight of this thing. I like that it's not overly tall. I think it's like sleek and a little lower to the ground like it should be. And I like it deployed. I especially like it when it's tier 3 deployed, because I like the obelisks of light that it has to defend itself. It's one of the strongest defensive things, as it should be, in this thing. And I just think it looks really cool. Let's see. A second Nod unit has hit the cannon tier. Woo! Nod does have a lot of bad units. I think they could suffer from like design flanderization, I think. Yes, it looks a bit like the Montauk. I agree, Pete of Darkness. It's cool indeed. Nostastologic. I decided to let some music play in the background because it was just boring to be silent with no music back in stream. I agree. The next time I do something like this, I'll play some music in the background. I just can't be bothered to do that right now. Undeployed. Okay, deployed. Pretty cool. Yeah. I like this one a lot. I think it should be canon. Yeah, I agree, Basileus. I wish it was canon. Yeah, unless anybody objects, I'm going to put this in. I wish this was canon. I think we finally got a third Nod thing in there. And Nod was able to get 2 crawlers into the I wish it was canon. I suppose the GDI was only able to get 1. So, yeah. Nice work. All right, we're almost done, guys. Almost there. Okay, this is the High Confessor, I think, which I think is like a Tiberium trooper. Yes, it is a Tiberium spraying trooper. The concept art looks cool. Yeah, those are some comically big Tiberium packs on the back. Yeah. I don't know. Are some of you saying this should be canon? That's what I was going to say, Warhawk Rambo. It looks very cartoonish. I think those packs are way too big. Like, stupidly big. Peter Dark is derpy, like all the infantry in Twilight. Ike Fanboy. High Confessor is a cool name, and the unit is very cool. The tanks are big, but it does fit the cartoony style during Twilight. Mountain Dew Troopers. Well, that's just stupid. Yeah, I'm getting some stupid. Looks like the chat is split on this one. I agree, Frostburn. I like the Tiberium Troopers better. I think they look better. They looked almost like dragonflies with their helmets. I like them better. This isn't a Tib tank. It's a suppository. The helmet on the other image was awesome. In this one? Yeah, it's pretty cool. But unfortunately, we cannot judge based off of concept art. This is what this guy actually looks like. I kind of want to put him in, well, that's just stupid. Okay. If the Black Hat was mad, then this should be above. That... Boo. All right, we'll put him above Black Hand. Okay. Let's move on, because we're almost done and we're getting to some of the good ones. I say as I bring up the slave. Look at. This is, I think, a repair unit. I think this is like the not equivalent to the crane. I don't know, guys. Anglerfish drone. I don't really care. I think we're going to put him here. It is better than the bulldozer. Where do we put the bulldozer? Did we put that in That's Just Stupid? No, we put him here. Okay, we'll put you above. You're above this guy. All right, moving on. I'm not going to waste time on this guy. Okay, we get the Underminer, which I don't remember what this guy does. Anti-structure operations can be used to clear out a region of any base defenses. So... But unlike the Aftershock, it does not leave a husk behind when destroyed. Okay. So it's another earthquake machine, but kind of like an artillery earthquake machine, and that it can destroy units from afar. Yeah, it does look like an Nautilus shell on take tracks. I don't hate this, I guess. It shoots underground projectiles. Oh, okay. Romanov says, love this guy. Looks more like a mobile stealth generator, though. It does, doesn't it? I don't hate this guy. I don't hate this guy. Do we wanna put him in I don't hate this? Or I have no feelings on this? Shervin Lane. So an anti-structure in a game with no real bases. You're not wrong. Looks like a shrimp. Still stupid. I think it should have caused volcanic fissures instead of earthquakes as an artillery attack. That would be cool. All right. I'm gonna put him in. I don't hate this. Next up is, oh gosh, don't make me rate this. Look at this thing. It looks like the front cover of that Disturbed album, if you guys know what I'm talking about. I just... I'm not waiting for you guys. This is just stupid. Okay, then we next we got... I hate having to go through all the base defenses. I hate the defense class. All right, so this is the disruption tower. Brand new disruption tower. I think it can stealth itself this time. Yeah, it can stealth itself this time, so that's an upgrade over the last one. But it just kind of is. I don't know. I don't really have any feelings on this. I just want to get to the defense. I hate the defense. I want to get to support already. What other base defense are we looking for? Is that the incinerator? What is the incinerator? A powerful anti-surface flame weapon. Okay, so it bombards things with flame. So it's like the flame mortar thing, but it... I don't know. It's kind of cool, I guess. Shoots a heat ray? Oh, it does. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, the design of the turret's not bad. Why does it fire a laser that burns? That's not how any lasers in the game have worked before. I don't know. Let's go no opinion. We're split on this one. I can... Okay, then we got the Reckoner, I think. This might be a... What does the Reckoner do? It carries infantry and it can drill. What in the world is this? Oh, the concept art looked a little better. What is... Why does it look like... Why is this so tall? Is it supposed to drill underground? It's going to get caught on things. Why is it... Is it deploying? The critical difference only was once deployed. This version could deploy. Okay, it does deploy. Okay, so this is in its deployed state. But still, I think this is Look How They Massacred My Boy, which is similar to the Scorpion tank in that I didn't even really like the Reckoner that much in Kane's Wrath. But this still feels like it personally offends me. Yeah. What do you think? I'm thinking we're going to put this in Look How They Massacred My Boy. All right, you really ready for something? The Temple of Nod. I don't think this is as bad as the ion cannon, but it's not great either, is it? This is it in its full form. I don't know if we would call this the Temple of Nod so much as like under the stairs closet of Nod. Like, looks like there's barely any room in that. What does the concept art look like? That's still not great. Yeah, I agree with you guys. This is massacred. Not as bad as the ion cannon, but still pretty bad. All right. Now we're getting to support. This is great. We made it to support, guys. We did it. All right. So first one is the Basilisk. I remember this being kind of cool. Fire lasers. Has a really long range laser. Okay, so 2 dual really long lasers. This kind of reminds me of some of the alien vehicles from Lego Mars Mission, if anybody knows that. I'm getting a lot of cannons here. Display stasis field. Some people say the voice actor sounds like Cabal. Harry Potter's room was the Temple of Nod. Cannon. Squishy thinks it's stupid looking. Not sure how it flies in the air. No form factor whatsoever. Meh. I'm getting a lot of cannons. I think there's a lot of love for the Basilisk. I like how this section looks. I think that's very Nod. If the cannon's got a redesign, then it would be Epic. I don't hate it, but it doesn't feel like a Nod vehicle. Epic Mars mission vehicle. Looks like the StarCraft II Terran battlecruiser. It's a very Nod looking aircraft. What am I looking at from Shot Combo? Where do we rate this, guys? Is this... I'm getting some of you say, hey, I wish this was canon. Yeah, if I don't hate this, I have no feelings on this. Well, that's just stupid, and look how they massacred my boy. Are you... What do we think? You're right. If you remove the cannons, it looks like a Nod dropship. You're right. It looks like I think it's the LSAAT from Clone Wars and the prequels of Star Wars. I'm getting quite a few cannons on here, but also some people who really don't want this to be canon. I don't think this deserves necessarily to be in canon. I'm thinking the vibe here is I don't hate this. All right. Next one is the Cobra. I think this fires a cannon. I think it's supposed to be anti-armor. Yeah. This is the Cobra, guys. So this goes in, well, that's just stupid, right? We all agree this goes into, well, that's just stupid. No? Disagreements? Cockpit is way too big with no protection. Yeah, it's going into stupid. All right, next one. What is that? Is that the hijacker? Yeah, I think it's the hijacker. So I guess this replaces the mutant hijacker, and it can take down enemy vehicles. Not really sure what the accoutrements up here are supposed to be. So it's supposed to be cybernetic. Kit Fisto. Yeah, it does kind of look like Kit Fisto. I think I fought these in XCOM 2. Hijacker has abs. Yeah. Cannon for T-pose. I don't know. I don't really care about this one way or the other. I really don't know what these are supposed to be. This looks like Leku from the Star Wars Togruta or the Twi'leks. I really don't know why that's there. I feel like that kind of brings it down. I don't know what that's supposed to be. What the shrimp? Does that go into the, well, that's just stupid because of the hair? Or whatever the heck that's supposed to be? Tendrils are fire EMP or something that stuns the vehicle. Well, that's even more stupid, so that's going in. That's going here. Is that true? Yeah, stupid. Okay. Moving on. Next we have the repair unit, the scalpel. This is just like the drone from GDI. It's, I don't know, man. It's a repair drone, a flying repair drone. What can I say? I kind of have no feelings on this, so I think we'll just move on because we're getting to the really cool vehicle soon. So let's just move on to that. Oh, hey guys. Remember how you liked the new Firehawk? Well, this is the new Vertigo. Concept art. Yeah, that's the Vertigo. What y'all think? I feel like they massacred my boy here. Because the Vertigo looked really cool. It looked unique in Tiberium Wars. It was, sleek. It was flat. It almost looked like a manta ray. It had a machine gun on it so it could engage air to air. It had really devastating bombs. It was stealth. I don't think this thing is even stealth. Can we take a look? It is not stealth by default and does not need a dock to reload. They do, however. So can it upgrade to be stealthed? Yeah, vertical bombers can be upgraded with a cloak module. Okay, so it does stealth. It's just no longer standard issue. Good design for the wrong unit. I wish it wasn't called the Vertigo. Yeah. More like a bomber of its own than a successor to the Vertigo. It's not a good Vertigo, but it's a cool heavy bomber or scout plane. Yeah. Well, I think for that reason, we got to put it in Look How They Massacred My Boy then. And now we make it to the support crawler. So the GDI support crawler made it into I Don't Hate This, I believe. Pretty sure it did. Where'd it go? No, that's the defense. Yeah, isn't it up here? I know we put it up here somewhere. Oh yeah, right here. Sorry, I couldn't even recognize it. So the nod support crawler, though, is this thing. You're right. It does look like a. You're right, Basilis. It does look like a cathedral when it's deployed. That's kind of cool. In my opinion, if you don't like the support crawler for GDI because it feels too busy and just like parts slapped on, I feel like Nod suffers from that even more. Like, I don't like how it looks like a bunch of bits and bobs were just sort of like slapped onto this thing, and it doesn't feel very cohesive. And I don't think I could recognize the silhouette. I mean, just look at this. Like, what am I looking at? Yeah, I don't hate it, but it's not. I don't like it. I don't like the design. Do we put it under the that's just stupid, or I have no feelings on this? That's a good point. This looks more like the Temple of Nod than the Temple of Nod. In game, it looks better, to be honest. It does look like a hornet. No feelings. The real Temple of Nod. Okay, guys, we need to make a decision. Is this no feelings or, well, that's just stupid? What are we doing? I guess the question is, do you think it looks worse than the GDI defense crawler, or about the same? Okay, Peter Rogers makes a good point. Deployed, it does look good, so I think that kind of bumps it up. I think we'll have to put this into... I have no feelings on this, because I think it's mixed. I do agree. I like it better than the GDI defense crawler, so we'll put that up here. Okay. Next up is... Oh, gosh, what even is this unit? The Marauder. I don't know what this thing does. It's effective against light unit. Oh, they're shotguns. Oh, these are supposed to be shotguns. Oh, that's why this thing was so freaking useless when I used it. These are two massive shotguns. Somebody decided to put two massive shotguns onto this chassis and call it a day. I really don't like that. I kind of want to put this in, well, that's just stupid. That's a raider with cannons. That is stupid. Yeah, everyone's agreeing it's stupid. Okay. Next up is the... Is it the Medusa? I think it's the Medusa. Support unit. Armed with anti-structure flux beam and a medium-range EMP. Solidify matrix, which repairs all the units. So it's a repair unit. It fires EMP... And it's got an anti-structure, like, laser. I'm tired, boss. I'm tired. I forgot how many freaking units there are in this game. There are so many. There are so many units in this game. Too many. Ugh. Sounds like you guys actually kind of like this thing. I'm getting a lot of tier 2. One of you even wishes it was canon. I guess we're putting it in I don't hate this. Works for me. Let's move on to the units we actually want to review. Oh gosh, I forgot this existed. Is that Obelisk of Life? Technically is a thing. This is a support power that you could call, that you can kind of see it down here in the left window. It's like, it looks like a banana. It's like a golden Obelisk of Light, except that it heals fellow units instead of destroying them. Like, that's just stupid, right? Am I wrong? That feels stupid. Like, that also feels entirely out of line with Nod's, like, whole ethos. They generally don't seem to care. Like, they don't have medics in Tiberian Sun because they don't care. Why would they have an entire obelisk dedicated to healing? Yeah, no, Pete of Darkness, I think they did just make that unit for the lame pun. So yeah, we're putting it in, and that's just stupid. All right, finally, we're getting to the units I actually want to talk about. Here we go. The Salamander. There it is. Nod gunship. Let's see, what is this? This concept art? There it is. Oh, this was the concept art. So, I actually really like this unit. Not only because it's got, like, missiles on the front, so it's very good against anti-air, but it also drops napalm on the ground, so it's like a decent bomber. And it's very sleek. Like, look how sleek that is. Like, I feel like there are very few units where they're like, they nailed the aesthetic of what Nod should be. Yeah, shame it's stuck in C&C4. I think this one goes in canon, guys. I think this goes in canon. I fanboy. This one was in the One Vision mod, and it was called the Basilisk for some reason. Either way, canon. Good antithesis to the Kodiak. Exactly. Yeah, I think we're all agreed on this. This goes into canon. So yeah, we got another Nod unit into the canon pile. Way to go, guys. Give yourselves a pat on the back. We did it. Canon for Noddies. We did it. We did it. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 GDI ones in canon, and so far 4. Let's see if we can get another 2 in there. Might be impossible, but we'll try. A lot of bad Nod designs in this game. All right, next up is the Tyrant. This is not looking good for our chances. What? Laser cannon that enhances the rate of fire of nearby allies. An interceptor tank speeding ahead of the main force to hit you off the ground. It also has the ability to burrow. So it fires a laser that enhances the rate of fire of other units, which you obviously want to get in a game where you have limited population space, and it drills. Wuzzle wuzzle. Or Glusman, hey Snowman, I found a bunch of cool Tiberian Dawn C&C fan art. Do you want me to send it to you to it? Sure, if you want. You have the email for the channel. Yeah, that's well, that's just stupid, right? That's what I'm getting from the chat. I don't even know what this is. All right, we're pulling for Nod. We just need to get another 2 in there, right? Oh, look, it's the vet. Oh. That's the Venom. That's the new Venom. That's the Venom. My boy, Father help. Yeah, I think this is look how they massacred my boy. Where are the lasers? Where are the lasers? So the funny thing is, like, the back half of this doesn't look too bad. The turbines aren't as cool as they were in Tiberium Wars. And then there's just the front half, and that just ruins the whole thing for me. Yeah, good way of putting it, Septages. They turned a warrior wasp into a bumblebee. Look how they massacred my boy. All right. Next up, we have, I think, not the Basilisk. It's called Leviathan. Got those mixed up. Very on-brand naming convention for Nod. Here's some concept art. So what does this thing do? A massive battle station, Leviathan is a self-sufficient spaceborne vessel, complete with a bridge, helmsman, navigational. Is one of the most powerful warships in the battlefield. Armed with 3 very long-range fireball launchers. They deal a lot of damage. The hangar bay also equips Leviathan with operates sortie drones. They're fast-flying, agile, pilotless drones armed with rapid-fire guns. They're effective against infantry and light infantry. They also improve the fortitude of friendly units around it, increasing their armor. So it's like a mobile aircraft carrier, essentially. That also is like an artillery platform. Ike Fanboy says, Leviathan has amazing voice actor, but it and the Paladin should have swapped voice actors. Also, this voice actor was much better in Leviathan as it works by the mod. I like how sleek it is. Canon. I like it a lot, to be honest. The great Yuri is taking notes. If they make a screen factor for C&C4, this would make it look cool. It does look like a space station, like a lore blurb said. I don't hate it. Okay, I'm getting that it's... I'm getting a lot of solid, I don't hate this. I don't think it's good enough to be put into I wish this was canon, but we do... I don't know. We were trying to get one more into that one, right? So, like, what do you think, guys? Do you think this could make it into I wish this was canon? If there was, like, some sort of, like, future where it's, like, Nod needs to up their air game to compete with a coming Skrin invasion, could you see this as something? I'm getting a few cannons. Mini Philadelphia tier for this one. Not canon. Tier 4. Well, that's low. Yes, they spring these on GDI and Skrin. Tier 2. Maybe a little redesign, but definitely canon. You know, for the sake of getting this into somewhat of an even spread here, I think we should put this in... no, maybe... I don't know. Yeah, I think as much as people want to see this in Tier 1, there's enough people who don't that I think we have to put this into I don't hate this. Okay, and now we have the engineer. This is the non-engineer, everyone. Look at this little goober. Oh, also concept art. Here's what he was going to look like. The flying worm. This is what he was originally going to look like. Everyone hated it so much they had to completely redesign him. This is what he looks like now. I think he's a cyborg. Privateer Man, so ugly not even the Brotherhood has entrusted him. Exactly. Alright, is this, well, that's just stupid, or should we throw him into Look How They Massacred My Boy because he's a successor to the Saboteur? Alright. Yeah. Alright. Look How They Massacred My Boy. Alright. Next thing up we have is... I think the Rioter, I think, is next. So I don't know if anybody remembers this guy. I have it under Other. I thought we had it under Other. Huh. Okay, let me duplicate this. Really? Okay, whatever. If you remember the Rioter, he was at that one mission of Nod where they're like attacking the stuff. It's the one where your quote unquote wife dies. I don't know. I don't have any feelings on him. It's kind of cool. I like the idea of not rioters. I don't know. Should we say I don't hate this? Like, I think that would be cool if there were future missions where you had, like, rioters and people you had to quell rebellions to. I think that would be cool. Canon material, they're the backbone in the lore, though. So little feelings, there's no wiki page. All right, we'll do no feelings. Okay, we're finally on the last 4 units, guys, and it is the Forgotten. So let's just go ahead and knock these out. Okay, so first up we have the Mutant Hovel. So here's some of the concept art for that. Very simple. And then it's uncaptured and when it's captured. Like, it's fine. I kind of want to put this in. I don't have any feelings on this. It kind of just is what it is. Nis says, I think it looks sick. Canon for me. Devs truly forgot about the Forgotten. Canon. Why is it canon? Who the people who are saying canon? What is it about this that because to me this is just a very generic building. What is it about this that makes you think like, oh, this should be canon? I think it's pretty mid. Definitely not good enough for canon. Yeah, I'm putting this in mid. All right. Peter Verkness. It was better than the Shack from Tiberium Wars? Not by much. Hey, guys, look. It's the Visceroid. Oh, look. There's one on a spit. Half-Life style. I really don't like that it has legs. Is that just me? I really don't like that it has legs. In my mind, the Visceroid is like what it is from Tiberian Sun and Dawn, where it's just like this gelatinous blob that kind of like moves around like a slug. This, I don't like that it has legs. Yeah, Zeptagus, no, give back the formless blob. I want the Renegade Visceroid, yeah. My boy, I like how it explodes. But why does it explode? Like, do they put a bomb on it and set it out as a suicide trooper? Like, why does it explode? It's supposed to, like, eat you and release Tiberium acidic chemicals. Like, why is it just a suicide bomber? Yeah, everybody keeps mentioning the Tiberium Wars Visceroid, but I have never seen it. When does that show up? I have never seen that in game. Canon domesticated Visceroid. Visceroid don't look like masses back in the past. Yeah, I kind of want to say, look how they massacred my boy. That's kind of where I'm thinking with this. Only shows up when the Corruptor kills infantry. Gotcha. That's so weird, though, too. Why is that the only thing that does that? Yeah, I think this is look how they massacred my boy. I can't look at this thing any longer. All right, the Ironback from the Forgotten. Kind of looks like a mechanical gorilla. It's got a claw in one arm, a drill in the other, Bioshock style. And it looks like it's being steampunk driven by like Tiberium engines. I'm going to hold off my opinion until I hear some of yours. I'm getting tier 1 from Rear Crew. Privateer says Big Daddy from Timu. Frostburn says stupid and downgrade. A downgrade from what, Frostburn? Best as I like it. Ike Fanboy says Cyclops from Halo Wars meets Big Daddy. Pete Up Darkness says it's pretty cool for Forgotten. Zaptasia says stupid. Jack of the Clanner says not gonna lie, it looks sick. Civilian says I don't hate it, but it needs more lore to it. Or Hawk Rambo says bland. Team of Big Daddy, don't hate it for Trevin Lane. I actually really like this unit. Surprise, surprise. I really like the idea of basically the Forgotten repurposing construction equipment to create this like melee gorilla mech that just has to get up close to like crack open a GDI mammoth or something. I actually really like this unit. I think it's very Forgotten. I think it makes a lot of sense. I also like the idea that, yeah, it looks like repurposed construction equipment. I like that you could see Tiberium gases coming from the back, because yes, of course, the mutants would be using that. Like, I think it makes a lot of sense. Here we can see some of the concept art. Looks like it was bigger in the concept art. Here it is in full render. I don't know. I really like this. I really like this unit. I kind of wish this was canon. I'll be honest. You know what? I also think that the Forgotten need at least one unit in there. So let's put this up here. Okay, I think we have 1 or 2 units left. All right, the Forgotten Scrap Bus. I mean, it's a school bus that's been scrapped up and armored up and has 4 guns on top. Fortnite reference. I mean, it's a pretty basic unit. I don't have a lot of feelings one way or the other. The guns feel a little bit too big. I don't know. I kind of have no thoughts on this. All right, should we put this in I don't hate it? What do you guys think? No feelings? Meh. Okay, we're getting a lot of no feelings, so we're going to put this in no feelings. All right, Chad has alerted me to the fact that I am indeed missing a unit. So let's see if we can find it. Nope. Let's see if I can find it. Come on. Why is everything freezing? Why is it freezing? Miscellaneous. Let's see it here. Try work in progress transport. May look in Google Images. All right, 1 sec. I'll be right back, guys. Let's switch over to the comment of the day, and then I'm gonna go find that stuff. What are we looking for? VIP transport? No. Transport? I can't find the Kane's transport. It's not coming up. I know what you're talking about, and I've seen it. I just can't find any pictures on it. This game simply is not loved enough to actually get any sort of work on that. I'm getting the Red Alert 1 transport. I'm getting nothing else. Nods Arsenal. Nope, not here. I don't think that's right, the GST Uziel, because there's no pictures there. And the GST is the big one, so that can't be it. Maybe it's the mission. Maybe I should go by searching from the mission so I can find a picture of it from there. Let's go GDI missions. What was the mission called? I don't remember what it was called. Gosh, I'm not looking this up. This is... What am I doing? Why am I doing this? Okay, here's the... I hate that in the EVA database, they don't list the missions in order. They list them alphabetically. Why in the heck would I want to see the missions alphabetically? That makes no sense. Shoot. Okay. Where's the first mission? Prologue. Here we go. GDI missions. Here we go. Beginning of the end. There are no pictures. VIP transport. There's no article on this. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist, everybody. It doesn't exist. Sorry. All right. We have one last one. Okay. Where's called the Uziel? The GST Uziel. But if I click that, nothing comes up. Okay. Well, the last one we got to rank, guys. Here we go. This is the last unit. Lillian Parker, the wife of the commander in Tiberian Twilight. We gotta rank her somewhere, guys. What do you think? I wish this was canon. What do you think? Do you think we gotta put it there? Do you think that's where we gotta put it? Where should we put it? Where should we put it? Okay. Oh yes, that she totally ruined that character of You know what? Okay, you know what? It's Heresy Week. We're putting her on I Wish This Was Canon. That's where we're putting her. I miss my wife, Tails. I miss her a lot. I'll be back. Okay. Thank you guys for everything. I'm gonna save this thing, and then I'm gonna post it in the post, and maybe find a way for you guys to download it too, as a little memory memorial for what we did here. I never want to do this again. I am sorry I did this. This took so long, and I got a lot less joy out of this than I thought I was going to. I really... All right, guys. Clean slate. Tomorrow's Easter. You know what that means? That means as soon as the sun rises on Easter morning, we once again forget that this game ever existed. And we forget this game existed again, and we go back into the bliss that is this game never was created. They stopped after C&C4. It's all gone. That's what we're doing. Yeah, not a bad idea, Ziptages. I should post it on the C&C sub just to see how much hate I get. Gosh. They already don't really like me over there. Let's not do that. All right. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all next time. Have a good one. Thanks for hanging with me for this long. I'm so sorry. I apologize. I apologize for all of this. I am so sorry. I'm very sorry. Goodbye. Where's the outro?
Battery